Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank, man. I'm joined by the one and only Patrick Price, aka Aches, Chris Duarte, aka Parasite, and of course, Benji Nassim. Hey Ben, what's going on, Ben? Talk to me.
Long stream today, had some fun all day, some great matches. Excited for the weekend, Tom, and excited to finally be doing some shows by matches. It's been what, over a week and a half?
It's been a little while.
It's been a little while. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good to get back into COD and get back into the swing of things. What's going on with you, Pat? Pat, you never show your face anymore, Pat. You scared? There he is. There he is. The Slayer back in action. What's going on, Pat? How are you, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing good, Tom. You know, it's X Defiant Insider Sessions crossplay weekend.
Nice.
We're live right now. So, Tom, when you get done with the stream tonight after the Flint, you can hop on, play a little.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's good. It's just busy, man. Just busy time. But I'm
hey,
good.
it's good to be busy, man. It's good to stay busy, stay productive. That's what it's all about. And Chris, what's going on, man? We were just playing some ranked play. How you doing, man?
Yeah, things have been good. I'm just, grinding ranked. It's actually, the system has probably been the best system we've had like since ranks came out. It's really nice. Pretty happy with it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, actually,
just wish we had map votes. I think like I was playing earlier
agreed.
today, and I was playing a lot of search and control. Wish I played more hardpoint maps.
Well, we just need more maps in general in this game, to be honest.
That's an overall problem. Yeah.
No, we need to get rid of control, period, because I don't know about you guys. In ranked, control is unplayable. It's literally sound warfare. You don't get callouts, no red dots.
Isn't that
like,
the whole game, though?
Your team,
warfare?
I mean,
For the most part, yeah.
sometimes, but dude, it's just not bearable when you have no comms. Like, you have no idea where people are dying from or where people are. It's bad.
Yeah, and there's hackers. There's just a lot of
That
cheaters.
too, but that's not systematic. It's not from the actual like system of the rank, so it's not a big deal. It is what it is. We know it's not gonna. The anti-cheats scuffed.
But at least we do got a rank play, so that's always good. But
True.
listen, we had we got a few matches today, 3 matches today. We actually kicked things off with a good one. We got the Vegas Legion going up against the Los Angeles Thieves. We got a Mercado Hardpoint, Fortress S&D, Hotel Control, NBC Hardpoint, LSC Search and Destroy. Before we get into the series, gentlemen, any thoughts on the vetoes?
At least from the Vegas perspective, prior to their team change, they played a lot of Mercado and they played a lot of Embassy, although they haven't been the best team in Respawn. I think they got 2 maps that are, stronger for them. Like they actually have a chance on them. So, I mean, it was interesting to see Thieves, who probably just thought they were the better team, if I'm being honest, squaring up on these maps with them.
Yeah, actually, the LAT Thieves end up falling short to Vegas Legion today. We get into the first map, which was Mercado. And honestly, this is where Vegas really struggled. This is the only map. I don't know what happened after this map, but the first map was they were getting put in a blender. They were having a really hard time holding hills.
I'll tell you what happened.
They just had, to your point, they just had no discipline. Like especially after this initial flip where they had the good siding off flip for P2, rotated to P3 got broken, rotated to P4 got broken.
And they can't hold hills.
You're sensing a theme here, Tom.
Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
No, I was just gonna say, like, map 1 we got 0.2 real, and then map 2 or the other maps 3 and 4 we got map 2.0 real. So
2.0 real.
Wow, I got that joke out, Pat.
I like that. Yeah, he struggled in this first map. To be fair, they all kind of struggled. It really started off early. I mean, LA Thieves was able to get a break here, and you could kind of see how it unfolded. It looks like they just kind of swarmed the hill. I don't know how Vegas wasn't able to hold on to this hard point. They won some fights. But they get pieced up by Draza and Envoy. So good plays out of Draza and Envoy to get in there. And honestly, they got off to a pretty fat lead early on. Was there anything that you thought happened from Vegas that they might have messed up on besides for just being terrible at holding hills on this map? Mercado, you could really get put in a blender, huh, Chris? On Mercado.
Yeah, this is probably one of the hardest maps to regain. The only 2 hills on the map that are kind of obviously like chainable are your P6s, and I can't believe we still have 7 hills in this map, but 6 and 7, they're the most chainable hills. Outside of that, they're pretty long rotations to each hill. So if you fuck up any of those like early hills, and you're kind of scuffed. Like, your only chance at regaining is really the P6 and 7 chain. And outside of that, like, if a team takes a strong lead, usually it's pretty easy to hold on to it.
Yeah, and that's what they did. They ended up holding on pretty much the whole way through. They were up like 100 points in this one, and they were able to close this one out. Any thoughts on the Mercado hardpoint as a whole? I know LA Thieves, they pretty much just outslayed Vegas like crazy. Clay was the only one who was able to get kills in this map. And that pretty much goes down to just rotational gunfights and stuff too, right? Like if you're not rotating, if you're not playing the game the right way, like it's going to be really difficult to pick up kills.
If you have to break kills on this map, even a sub AR doesn't really matter. Like it's just so hard to get kills.
Yeah, any final thoughts on the map 1? We could go into the Vegas listening, but they were kind of getting pooped on. So I don't think we really need to do that to them. They were just kind of going through the motions. They were down 100 points. So
where does Two Real live, by the way?
Ohio.
Okay, so technically their online
spread is the same.
A little bit.
It's the same.
Tom,
for the
can you
most
go
part.
back to the vetoes really quick if you don't mind?
The vetoes? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to take a look at something real quick because I'm looking at some stats and I'm a little surprised how both of these hardpoint maps ended in here. But I just want to confirm that Hotel did not get vetoed in this series and was available for pick.
Hotel what?
Okay, so
the Hotel S&D got vetoed.
Was available for pick, and I'm surprised that in the situation that Thieves did not pick that. But it did look good in Mercado. I just wanted to confirm that. I'm sorry.
Who's team A?
Well,
I think it just
Thieves,
said Legion team B.
I think Thieves picked probably map 1, right? Because
yeah, that's what
Legion,
I'm saying.
Legion picked team B. Vegas was team B. It says at the top right here.
Oh, right there. Wow.
I'm surprised he picked Mercado. And why went?
Yeah, I'm surprised as well.
Over Mercado against
Hotel's like was one of the stronger maps at the entire major, so yeah, it's kind of weird. Oh, and maybe they thought they just eco out some maps and were like, oh, we're the better team. Like it's just Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas has not been a good Hotel team every time I've seen them play. So that's why I wanted to go back.
Either way, though, they picked this map they wanted, so it is what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, look at the scoreboard, right? From LA Thieves, they just had a field day, hit a map number 1. Not really too sure what the heck happened moving forward in this series, but you can see here the scoreboard is just completely lopsided. Clay, the only one positive for Vegas. So they end up falling down. Any final thoughts on the map 1, gentlemen, before we head into the map number 2?
No, I thought map 1 was a snooze, but map 2 was just like one of the weirdest Fortress S&Ds we've ever watched. Like I have a whole list of notes for this map because it was just crazy clutch. Crazy close clutch, and then just weird
a lot of weird rounds I don't want to take a look at. First round is the second round. I actually really like the strat from Vegas. They get super aggressive going over towards that B side of the map, and I like how TJ kind of played mid art, like bottom art or top art. He kind of just roamed that by himself, kind of playing that on an island. Nice little B hit. I like how we're seeing a lot more B pushes now. Why do you think that is? You think people just figured it out now? Maybe some mind games.
People have the confidence to just sprint through that big door. Like you saw Too Real, he just said, "Screw it, I'm just going to go for it." Yeah, I kind of like that play out of him because it forces the defense situation to make a play instead of what happens a lot with those pushes, where the offensive team just kind of does a do nothing strat P1 and hopes that the other team kind of overchallenge and they don't ever end up actually crossing. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, to be fair, I think the Thieves just kind of got blind countered. I think they were going to try to do like some bottom like art execute, so they were kind of stretched thin on their like setup to like their default. So they just like found an opening. They got through P1 relatively unscathed, and like the only person that was in any like position to actually try to counter it was the guy like towards P5, and they just overwhelmed it. So I mean, it was a good blind counter. But that's what I was going to say about this map. Hitting B or just like challenging out P1 is one of those things that you're either just blind countering and trying to catch timing, or you're going there late. So like that was just a good blind counter out of Vegas.
Yeah, and then we get into the next round. This is where Don was able to get an ace here. This was really good plays out of him. The queen just walked in the building. Everybody say get a queen wit in the chat. But right here, great plays from Kenny. I like the initial play. He catches the timing here. Ends up killing him off the bomb. And then Kenny ends up rotating back to top rails here. And he sees Donnie cross. Really good heads up play out of Don here. If he would have cut through maybe top maps or right in front of Kenny here, he probably would have won the round. But Donnie ends up spotting Kenny with like 7 or 8 seconds left to go. Kenny probably shaking his head after that one. That was probably one he should have won. He saw Donnie going towards the B site. You can see Donnie laughing about it. These are two really good friends, right? So I'm sure they're talking about that one later. But really big plays out of Don there. He picks up the ace and wins the 1v1.
If Kenny committed to that gunfight, he might have actually won it. Just I guess hindsight. But that the top of the bomb, a lot of people don't realize that shit is paper. So like if a guy's like head glitching, guys like head glitching you or like snaking you on it, you just spray through it and it's paper.
I still think the Scar wins that though.
I mean look at Donnie's health. Whenever he ducked behind the bomb,
he only ate one bullet.
No, he didn't. Look, if he wanted to go back and really
Thought it was
cared
like
about
one
it,
bullet.
he was red. So like if he commits
was
to that,
red.
he probably headshots him. He kills him for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why Kenny didn't want to commit. To be honest.
No,
there wasn't a lot of time.
I was just trying to let people know that if they're ever head glitching the bomb, that shit is paper. So
yeah, and then things get really weird in this next round. It's a 3v2 situation for Vegas, and Octane somehow is able to clutch the 1v2. He puts the snipe to Clay. Now, right there, I think TJ and Clay need to be together here. I'm not really too sure what the setup was. Octane's able to find the snipe. Then he pulls out the Vaznev, and then things get real interesting here. Octane jumps right in front of TJ, but he doesn't see him. He just doesn't see him. I mean, we'll go back and watch the highlight. They end up showing it the second time around, but what do you think happened there?
I think TJ
tweak?
was probably just looking left. He jumped right. Clay saw him, called him out, but at that point it was too late for TJ to react and snap.
Spectator glitch,
funny,
bro.
Yeah, something funny to laugh about afterwards, but his teammate saw him and he just wasn't able to react.
Have y'all never seen the Imbos meme?
When he blinked?
Like,
yeah,
when he blinks?
yeah, I've ever
seen. He blinks. He just blinks.
I don't think he blinked. I think
he blinked right there. He blinked right there.
But his eyes are wide open right there. You can see the whole player.
Nah, he blinked.
All right, he blinked.
Well, that's in slow mo, bro. It's like the spectator glitch. Like sometimes, like people on your team will see things like earlier than you do. It's so weird.
Maybe, I don't know, but honestly, a really good play from Octane. He ends up getting a really nice snipe, and he gets aggressive. He gets the read onto Tej, and we're tied up at 3. Goes back and forth. We go to the 4-4 round. This is where Vegas was able to win a really big defense here. I don't even know how they were able to do this. They just hork all their tacks and just hit this. Like, they get super aggressive. I'm not sure how TJ didn't get traded there, but I like the aggression out of him. He's really good at S&D, man. He's always popping off for these guys in search. And you can kind of see how they're able to just overwhelm the site. It's not easy to win defense on this map these days. It's hard.
No, not at all.
So I thought that was a really big round. You can see Clay all smiles, but I like the strat. Use their tax. If they throw all their tax, the trophies won't stop all of them. Kind of back them down and use their numbers, and that's what they did. And really good trades. I thought they were gonna get 3-pieced here from Octane. It almost happened. They didn't check the corner, and luckily TJ was there.
Interesting stuff strategy wise. Most people, like a lot of people, don't like look at the game this way, but most of the time a trophy is always going to be behind the bomb. There's never going to be a trophy towards the front of the arches. So like if a player ends up diving across, which a lot of teams like to do, where they like jump across the close, then like they get close, you can just spam tax on them, because most of the time that player is not going to be protected by the trophy behind the bomb.
Yeah. You can kind of see now we go into the 4-5 round, and Vegas, they play over towards that A side of the map. It's Draza who's left in a 1v2. TJ calls in the streak in the 2v1. I don't know. Do you guys like the streak call?
I think that was
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I feel like in a 2v1, just use your numbers. I mean, I get it. Like, use the streak for info. But the thing is you can get caught in your streak just like that, especially if you don't have a teammate looking over you. If you're going to call it.
In a corner,
I was going to say I didn't mind it if he got towards a place where Donnie could protect him.
Yeah. But then Donnie, he ends up winning the 1v1. It's him versus Draza, 15 seconds on the clock. And Donnie, once again, what a big 1v1 win. He was super clutch in the search and destroy. We take a look at the final scoreboard. 12-7 from TJ, 9-6 from Don. They really showed out in the search. What is it about Vegas and S&D, man? And TJ's just always going off in S&D. Always.
Yeah, but not in respawn.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's just such a weird flop, you know? It's so weird how different he is at one game mode to the other. Maybe it's just like he's been playing S&D for years. It's just bread and butters for him, man. You know, it's just he's been doing it for a long time.
Tom, another interesting thing on this, if you look at it, is this true that Vegas only got 3 first bloods this entire match?
I'm not too sure the exact number is if that's what it says. Do you have a stat?
So, we've talked a lot. I mean, that's what it's on the scoreboard. I don't know if it's correct or not. I mean, we've talked a lot with Thieves, like in some of these S&D losses, that they're just really poor at winning 4v3 rounds, and it looks like once again in this map.
I think in a lot of these they were like instant
are
trades.
These accurate?
They basically were playing 3v3.
Are these first bloods accurate? You know how the scoreboard messes up sometimes? These are accurate, right?
I think the website should be accurate.
Because sometimes the scoreboard gets messed up. Like certain things get messed up.
I don't know what actually gets messed up. The one thing that always gets messed up is the damage. Like the damage around. Like your damage around will match your damage instead of like showing your actual damage.
On the Call of Duty website, they have Thieves getting 7 first bloods at map, so they only won 4 rounds, so something's amiss there.
What I just said, that most of the first bloodsmen were just trades. Like it was just they basically played 3v3.
I mean, but that's still the same problem though. Again, we've talked about their situational play.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like a first
teams.
blood that is traded within like 2 seconds isn't really a first blood.
I get you're saying the macro in this map, but over the large sample size with this Thief squad, they really struggle with the first blood win percentage. And it comes down to the two things we're talking about. One is they're not maximizing the 4v3s and closing those rounds out, and they're losing the 3v3s, 3v2s that kind of come from the cascading kills.
Yeah, you're both right.
Then we hop into the hotel control. You can see TJ with a big 3-piece there. Want to show Two Real some love. I thought he did a great job in his first round, just pushing out Kitchen. LATs have a good break off. They're able to stack B and get the point pretty early. But Vegas actually hold on the rest of this round, and a lot of it's just because Two Real. He just finesses his life. He ends up going on a little bit of a streak here as well, and picking up a cruise missile, which ends up helping him a lot going into the next couple rounds. He actually gets a big 2-piece with that cruise later on in this game. But Pat, I want you to show Two Real some love, man. He was making moves in this map. He was making plays. I like the corner camps. I like the finesse. I feel like we need to see more of this from Two Real.
I mean, listen, Tom. Listen.
He played well, Pat. You got to give him his flowers, man. You got to.
He played well. Okay, but one map. But he played well.
This is a top 2 team as well.
After getting absolutely horked on in the first map.
But they all got horked on. They couldn't hold a rotation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but one got horked on a lot more. And I have something, Tom, for you that kind of represents this. If you wanna bring me up, but
your game online.
Let's take a look at this, Pat. What is this?
Well, what's your point here, Pat?
You can bring me up, Tom.
Your game on. Bro, Pat. He hasn't even been able to show out on land yet with this team, man. He's got to get another chance.
Not this team, but he had the pillow on land before. I've seen it.
He has had the pillow on land, but the pillows.
That was the Florida chalked, the mega chalked roster, bro.
Hey, take a look at this. Vegas or LATs actually get on this point, but he ends up banking the cruise missile off the wall and taking him out. I don't even know if they had a trophy down.
You go back and you could see in the silhouette of the
there's a trophy down for sure.
Go back a little bit more before yeah, they did have one.
They had a trophy down, so it might be a little cheese.
We've seen people do strat though on this map. This banging the wall and getting the AoE damage on this hill.
Yeah,
shot a couple of times during major too. It's a pretty good play.
Yeah, he ends up saving the round for them. So Two Real making big plays, and then a little play here that I wanted to take a look at in this round. You can see, I got to find exactly where it was, but it was Octane who originally gets pushed up. And LATs just don't really get any map control, and then Vegas don't really take advantage of it. I gotta, Ben, you remember exactly where it is? There was just a weird play here. Teams, it's right here. So you can see Octane in the spawn here. You see number 1 on the minimap. I want to get your opinions on it. As soon as he goes down here, I just feel like these guys double desk, like, need to get aggressive here. Like, just get pushed up into bedroom. Kenny just sits desk. And then Draza just sits double desk. I just would have liked to see them get pushed up bedroom here, maybe play a corner, like maybe get a little aggro there.
I mean, the problem at this point is when you turtle like this is look how little mid control they actually have. No one's watching info desk. No one's watching couches.
And that was like
try to push. Now they get stuck in between.
And that was kind of like a nitpick, maybe. You know, that was just something that I saw. But the biggest problem here was with Vegas. They don't stack the point. They get a clean wipe, but you could kind of see there's 2 guys on it. Clay's, Donnie's not hopping a point. Two Real goes down. If they stack this, they probably win this round. You can see here, 3 dead right there. I think everybody should go to point here and just jump. And just jump on point. Just jump on point. I mean, they're all dead. You can watch middle from the point. You can watch your pinch from the, capping the points. I don't know. Just like little plays like that.
They had 2 people watching mid. I think they thought they were just going to get hard, like hit mid. And for some reason, they just sent 2 people there, which obviously I don't agree with either. I think if you're gonna have 1 guy watch pinch is fine and 3 stack, but they had 2 people there. I think it was like Don and Tej. Weird.
Yeah, they didn't stack there, and it ended up costing them because a minute and a half goes by, and LATs just and then right here, I think Octane had camo this series. I think he had camo pop because for some reason nobody sees Octane. Nobody sees this guy. This guy's always tucked in corners and nobody can see him. Two Real doesn't spot him there.
Do they still do the thing where they're like applying the camos and the skins in podcaster only?
Yeah, so he doesn't have that dark suit. He has a default suit.
Oh, you sure? You sure?
Yes. It's
I'm just making sure. I
don't know. He didn't see him.
And then after that, we had a couple defenses back to back, a couple defensive wins. We could go into the overtime, which is where Vegas was able to go crazy here. They actually win on the offense. and just to see how they were able to do it. They were able to work some kills over to the B side of the map. I think Clay makes a great play initially to get pushed up there. Does he take a route? I think Clay ends up taking a route here. You see him couches. He starts making a little solo play. He's going to open up that B side of the map. Just finds a gap. As soon as he gets that kill, that's going to force LA Thieves over to that right side of the map. They kind of scatter them a little bit. Donnie's going to drop that streak. The trophies are there, but you can see how he gets the information, and that allows Vegas to push up onto this B point again. Kenny's the only one on that B side of the map. They all go down. The stacks come in for Vegas this round. So great stacks in the overtime for the Vegas Legion. And then after that, I think Clay, another big fight in Kitchen. He goes massive, and they can't pretty much just swarm onto this A point and end up taking care of business. I like the spot here from Octane. He's right to Clay's left right now, but somebody ends up spotting him. It wasn't Clay. It was a 2-reel from in front of Clay that was able to get Octane there. So good read at a 2-reel, because that's a really nice spot. I haven't seen a lot of people use that. Yeah, really, right? It was because Clay's there.
So weird.
I think they knew that they were missing one, and he probably was just like looking for him, like checking corners and stuff.
Laying behind like the like weird bar spot that people play where they just kind of.
Yeah, it was a good play, but
that's
so awkward.
Fucking shelf for the blind.
Oh, fair play, I guess. That looks so weird because he's like watching the he's just snaking, right? And then he just turns. That's crazy.
I mean, this T-World's performance speaks to. I think if this edition improves their control, which they were like one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst team in the league on this game, but like that's going to help out their win conditions a lot going forward. Because their hard point in general like isn't that bad map win record wise. They do have 2 really rough maps. They have 3 decent ones. The control as a swing mode has really hurt them. And if 2-reel comes in, sets pace, opens up plays for the other players, they can get back towards 500 in this game mode. This team might descend a few spots in the rankings, man. Let's see some upside here.
Donnie 33 and 25, 2-reel 33 and 32 and 21. Good maps out of them. Go ahead, Pat.
Chris, go ahead, Pat.
You can go, Chris. I just had a last comment.
I was gonna say, like, I'm really happy that 2-reel is doing well. At least in this first match. I'm curious to see how his consistency goes, but like, I'm still not gonna be sold on anyone yet until they like perform like really well on LAN, because the thing about online right now, at least like that viewers might not like be familiar with, because they're like, if they're not actually in tune with the competitive stuff, it's like the sound is so like important. Like a lot of pros are still using sound EQ. I've seen like bands tweet it.
Why are pros doing that if they're gonna have to turn off the LAN?
I think it's just because there's
points online.
Yeah, there's no way people can know if people are running it. At least I don't know what they can do to micromanage it. But the whole point is sound, especially in the game mode like control. Like for example, when 2-reel is pushing out like kitchen and all that stuff, and he's popping deady, he's just, if anyone's around him that does not have dead silence, he just knows where they're going to be. He can prepare for the gunfights and stuff like that. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why online to LAN gameplay changes so much.
Just this isn't very complicated. The league should ban this. They play on league PCs. They do, I believe, if there are any pros in the chat, they can confirm they do a check on the PC before your series. They should just say that it's just banned online and LAN, and everybody can just move on from the setting. It's not super complicated.
Yeah, but it's one of those things they can easily people could easily just turn on. Like and turn off at will.
Okay, so if it's banned in the rules and people turn it on, there's punishment attached to it.
No, there's just no competitive integrity at that point.
The thing is though, like you could turn it off and then like before your PC check, because they have like, in order for them to like access your PC, you have to go on like this program, and then they do it, just turn it off right before it. So like that, like I've even had this argument in challengers. We've been like trying to find ways to kind of like make it so that people can't use it, and it's fucking impossible.
Bro, we're in an era where people are bragging about snaking, and we're expecting players to be like have integrity and not use a sound setting. Come on now, this isn't gonna happen in this.
Yeah, people just don't care.
Cheese. This is literally just a pure cheese. Yeah. People cheese
literally
each other nonstop, and you think people are gonna agree to, or not even agree, trust other people? Bro, like, no shot.
Kismet posted in the chat, he said that he asked like the people that were like, you know, monitor this stuff, and he said that there's no way for them to turn it off online, but on LAN it's a thing.
Okay, so there's extreme things we can do here, like force like, is there not a way for them to disable or force people to unplug their keyboards the minute they need to get ready for a match? Why do they need their keyboard? They're just sitting in their lobby waiting in between maps.
You don't need a keyboard to do it.
Come on, you can literally just hit start with your controller.
All you do is you
on land though. That's why you can't
no. All you do if you have a mouse, all you do is you go to full screen windowed, which tabs you out of your game, and then you go and do the setting, and then you go back into the game and you go back to full screen exclusive. Like that's all you do.
Again, there are ways where they can really lock this out.
The only way that would work, and this is something that I try to get challengers to do, but it's very hard. I was asking the challengers to like record or stream their like POVs before maps start, et cetera, so that way people could see that it's off before the map starts and all that stuff. But also the only way the league could do it is if they had integrity cams that literally looked at the players' monitors, so then they could check the setting, obviously see that it's not on, and then go into the game, and then they'll see if they're obviously fiddling with that stuff mid-game. So that's the only way, bro.
Behind them, it's like they have them down the line or other angles, but like you would have to put it behind.
I mean, why don't they just GA it? Like they can't get the
because people are lying is what they're saying. Like
because there's lie about auto attack sprint. Like it's the same shit, bro.
Auto attack sprint, you could tell if somebody's on it though.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, yeah, you can probably tell if you're getting sound horde too.
Yeah, you can, but it's hard to tell because you could, even without the setting, you could still sound horde like crazy. That's why it's I don't know. There's no competitive integrity. I just don't understand why the pros just can't talk amongst themselves and just like not use it. But like you said, people lie, and I guess at that point they cheat.
They lied, cheat, and steal. Shout out Eddie Guerrero.
This is for the chat. If any of you guys are wizards and you guys have potential solutions that could actually be done, I'm all ears. So just hit my line and let me know.
It's gonna be impossible to enforce for challengers, Chris, because
I know, but still, if people know stuff, I'm willing to hear it out just to see, if there's anything that can happen.
I refuse to believe there's not a way to come with a process here to really lock this down. I know for land they all use the same like mixamp thing. There's a lot more controlled variables than online where people are using different types of headsets and stuff like that. But I'm really curious as a way to lock it down because to this point, people are playing two different environments. Bro, we play a system. Can you let me finish? You're gonna cut me off. Thank you.
Dude, are you on your period?
Yeah, he's mad today. He's mad today. He's mad today, bro.
I don't want to give me an attitude, but I was in the middle of a sentence. Cut me off.
Why do you still have hair?
You act like you're the supreme co-host of the show, but just let me speak to it.
Yo, Tom, I know what it is. Ben is tight because the intro still just says ZooMaa and Aches.
No, we've been trying to get that fixed for like months.
I saw him in the DM. That's why he's been tight. That's why he's been tight. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Played every episode, but it's all good.
Bro, chat, can you please tell me what Tommy's stream title said?
Let him go, Chris. Let him go.
Did it say 9:30? Did it say 9:30, chat?
You show up late. You guys can just
did it say 9:30?
All right, can you morons log in? You morons gotta let's get into the map a little bit. Vegas Legion were able to chain the P4 and the P5. They build a crazy lead in this one. They were on form. I like that in this map that they were able to just rotate the hills and actually just lock down time. It's something that they weren't able to do in the map one. I just think this was a good map for them. Ben, we'll let you take the floor. We'll let you say some words. What do you think Vegas was doing right in this one? And where do you think LAT struggled? Because for me, it just seemed like Vegas stayed ahead of rotations.
I mean, the holds were so much better for Vegas in this map, Tom. Like, again, this goes back to Too Real and TJ. Like, they're setting pace for the subs. They're being super annoying. Bottom orange, bottom hallways, middle map. Just finessing, setting pace, playing their lives. We've seen these old Vegas teams are just slow. They get teams just kind of run circles around them. They get their setups blown. In this one, I mean, bro, we go watch the P4 and the way that Vegas plays the P4. It's such a marked improvement from their last squad. I know Clay talked about it that he felt bad that Bomber was the one that kind of had to step aside on this team, but it seems like it's just one series, so it is early, and they have a very difficult schedule for this major. It seems like just the speed of this team, the finesse is a little bit higher now with the squad.
Yeah, one thing I will say about Too Real is that their team in challengers was really good at hardpoint. So I'm curious to see if he helped bring up some of the stuff that his old team did in challengers or brought some of that with them, because I mean, at least in this hardpoint where they actually weren't trolling their setups and they had a little bit more movement on the map, like he was flowing, bro. He was like making quick pinches on some of LA Thieves pushes so that they couldn't break hills, and he was just keeping the Thieves on their toes really well this map.
Yeah, no, he was playing really, really well. Pat, what did you think about the overall series from the Vegas Legion? They were able to hold on to their lead. It got a little close towards the end. LAD started bringing it back, but Vegas was able to close it out. Clay ended up turning up towards the end as well. But did they impress you today, Pat?
Nah, Tom, they didn't.
Okay.
I'm still not sold. I think that like this is just one series. One series. We've seen crazier upsets in my opinion. I think kind of what Haggy said. Like he wants to see if the consistency stays. I personally am not too high on that. Also, you heard Clay in his interview. He kind of like gassed up Too Real. Like every leader on a team is gonna do that at you know, regardless of what you think about your team. Like, bro, when I was playing with Too Quick, like I was telling Too Quick he was the best player in the world, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, guy's costing me money. Like, it's just, you're never gonna say shit like that, and you're only gonna gas your teammates up, especially in new roster changes. So
there's nothing wrong with being a good teammate, bro.
No, I didn't say that. All I'm saying is like that. I just don't know if I'm fully buying into this team. I still think this team has plenty of issues. And they're just honestly inconsistent across the board. I don't think Too Real's gonna fix that. I think we just had a showing today where Too Real played good in 2 respawns and they managed to close them out. But I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be sustainable.
Not every roster can build Atlanta FaZe, bro. Like it's just being realistic.
Who said they need to?
What do you mean?
I don't
wait. Every time Pat spits about rosters, he acts like every team can literally build the greatest team possible. Like, bro, not every team is gonna be the best in the league. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Obviously not when you have the Vegas Legion paying minimum salaries and you have some people paying $300,000.
That's an issue. That's an issue with the league. Yeah, there's not as much talent available. Like, bro, there's so many other issues besides like, hey, these guys can't pick people up.
Listen, you're not wrong. Like they released ProLoop, by the way, when they dropped him. Like this org is spending so little money that they released him.
They couldn't even afford to keep someone on a minimum.
and look, Donnie again played this series. You can't probably tell from the background. Like he's at the Atlanta FaZe facility playing this series. Like they have to play him in a spot where you can get better ping in Atlanta versus home. There's just resources that this team doesn't have. But look, the thing for Vegas is they have a very different. I know Clay's freaking out in this clip. It's hilarious.
He was screaming, bro. Hyped.
But they have a really tough schedule in this qualifier. They've got Ultra, FaZe, Rokkr, and LAG left. It's going to be hard to beat, 2 or 3 of those teams. I do think this team is starting to turn a little bit of a corner. If you look at how they played towards the tail end of Major 2, even with their last roster, they were starting to figure out hardpoint, especially after that tough series against New York. I think they've probably won 4 hardpoints and only lost a couple in that stretch. I think the S&D was a little shaky today. That's the one thing with them. I think they're kind of getting by with a couple of these 6-4s lately in search. I think they need to kind of clean things up there. But there's some upside with this Vegas team that I thought wasn't there a few weeks ago. And if they can continue to just work with this team, run with the punches that they're going to deal with just with the schedule they have, as we've talked time and time again on this show, 2 and 3 gets you in the bracket. And no one really cares if you get 1st seed or 8th seed. If you get in the winners, you can win the event. So I'm excited to see what they do over the next couple weeks.
Who's their next match?
Ultra.
Okay, so that's
another tough
Sunday,
match,
right?
That's gonna be another tough match. Yeah,
Toronto hasn't been looking like themselves, though. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I think we'll get set series in a bit.
32 and 23 from Clay. Want to show him some love because he popped off, and he is the oldest player in the league, and he's still frying for these guys. So it's always good to see Clay doing his thing. Everybody positive. TJ stepped up. Donnie, Too Real had another great map. Unlike the LAT Thieves, right? Sam had a little bit of a stinky. Just unlike them. What do you think happened with them today?
Well, I think there's a big. I saw Tim Takes on Twitter talking about. And I think just on the track is with Thieves is they're just the difference in how they play online versus LAN. I don't want to say there shouldn't really be for most teams a difference in both, but for Thieves, whatever happens, I guess, is online.
We know the server
mindset, and then they get to LAN. It's a different issue. I agree with you, Pat. I wonder if maybe some of it is the fact that they're playing from LA and they're playing a team in this situation where TJ's on the East Coast, Donnie's on the East Coast.
They still have the ping equalization thing, so I don't know if that's necessarily an issue. I think and these guys are just better on LAN, obviously, but I think, dude, I'm telling you right now, man, it's the sound, bro. The sound thing is literally, you're playing a completely different game online.
Why doesn't everybody agree to play like a certain sound volume?
Because there's no way to like know.
People are just gonna cheat. Yeah, people are just gonna cheat, and they're gonna lie about it, which is just like funny to me. Because I just felt like back in the day, people never did that stuff. Like if we talked about things and like GH something, like people would actually fall.
Yeah.
Like people would actually do it. Now it's just people just don't
I
even
told
care.
you, bro. We're just in a different era. People are bragging about cheesing. It's actually
I know you don't play as you don't play this game. You have obviously other priorities, but like
I play good games.
From someone that plays rank, like me and you play rank, Tom, and I think Ben, you played a little bit, bro. You cannot fucking move.
Not yet, you can't, bro.
You actually cannot move. And these guys are not good. And like the people that play ranked are obviously not as good as fucking, good like pro players. Yeah. Like you can't even imagine when some of these other people are sound whoring you. Like, it's so bad, dude. I feel like that definitely affects a team like Thieves, because those guys, bro, I said it like when they were struggling, these guys just like to go rogue. They like to run around. They like to they take a lot of aggressive like challenges, a little like they play really risky, and I feel like it's just not doing them any favors.
I know the only thing though is like they got to be able to adapt to both games. At the end of the day, there's points on offer online, and you don't want to start in losers. So look, it's just the first series of the Major 3 qualifier. I'm sure they'll figure it out. They're a good team, but again, we're starting to see a little bit of a split of how they play out of their facility versus when they actually end up on stage. Something to watch. Yeah.
Yep. Great job out of the Vegas Legion today. It was cool to see them get a W on the board because I want to see those guys do well. It's always cool to see a team that's at the bottom of the league like getting some upsets and starting to get better. So hopefully they can keep that momentum going moving forward. But let's hop into the next one. We got the New York Subliners going up against the Minnesota Rokkr. This was another incredible series. We had a Fortress Hardpoint, Mercado S&D, Fortress Control, Hotel Hardpoint, Fortress S&D. Any thoughts on the vetoes, gentlemen?
No, they're pretty straightforward, I think. It sucks that, there's a series where New York had a choice between a CLO and Fortress Control, and they picked the Mickey map. It is what it is,
I have one thought, Tom.
Yeah.
Bring it up for you. About the vetoes.
Let's see the meme.
Let's take a look at the meme here. Let's see what's going on from the Slayer.
What's he digging?
What's he got in the meme? Fortress Control, been to see things that suck in a COD game. Come on, Pat, leave Ben alone, Pat. You're bullying him.
Why am I so off-centered on the full screen?
First of all, Ben was getting better and better as he went on today. Okay, he was getting better today. And Ben, I was peeping the gunny, especially in that Hydro Hardpoint. You were piecing, bro. Don't let Pat like talk you down here.
No, it's all good. At least I show up to the show on time. It's all good.
Damn, Pat, you do gotta show up on time. You gotta start showing up on time. We're gonna throw out a fine next time, Pat.
No. There's no waiting for fines. He's getting fined.
Oh my God, Ben is sending out threats right now.
Listen, we're gonna do a flank therapy after the show. Let's do this later, Pat.
No. I just want to bring something up.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
Go ahead, Pat. Jesus.
Let me get this up. Let me get this up for you.
Dude, this guy bad. Jesus. How many memes do you have? How many memes do you have, bro?
No. Hold on. Image, save. All right, I'll be up in 2 seconds, Tom. We're doing this live.
I don't know what Pat's
doing. Bang, right there. Open. Bang. Full screen. Check it out. Transition. Bang.
Pat, what is that, bro? What is that? What does that even say? What does that even say,
You got to full screen it.
I did, but I got it small. You got to just read it out, Pat. Read it out.
All right. The flank chat at 9:14. Tom's stream title says 6:30, so I'm just gonna tweet it then.
If it says 6:30,
I got receipts, chat.
Show up at 6:25. It doesn't mean show up on time.
We started the flank at 6:20.
You've been late to every show, man.
We started the flank at 6:20.
Yo, bro.
Cammy went off this map.
Yeah, listen, you guys gotta chill, all right? Chill out, bro. Everybody relax. Calm down. We'll talk about it after.
I'm good.
All right. Let's go. Let's talk about the map.
I got something though.
You guys are crazy, bro. This first map was going pretty back and forth. Honestly, bro, they were trading rotations the whole way through. As you skim through it, you can kind of see how both teams, it was just going back and forth one by one. It got really hectic towards the end of this game. I want to fast forward towards the end because I don't know how New York flipped this. First, I think it was number 8 who was able to get out. But Minnesota, they end up working kills. Paco's able to stay alive.
Go back to the P5, yeah, because we were going to talk about it from this point on.
Yeah. Ben, why don't you take the floor here? Because this is something that we noted down here.
Yeah, there's a big play that Cammy makes, and he wins a huge one to ensure that they aren't super stuck in this trap. He actually kills Preston if you kind of play this through the next 20 seconds, and it makes this mixy enough that they're not super stuck in that Fortress blender. And they're able to put a lot of pressure on P1 to get a chance to kind of run this back and win this map.
Somebody got out, and then that kind of forced New York to back up, and then Minnesota was able to get out. But I don't know how the flips come in here. So you can see Minnesota, They have him in a trap. It's Paco who, by the way, this guy's incredible. This guy played insane today. I mean, to be honest, he plays insane almost every single day, but he went nuts right here. He ends up getting out. I'm wondering how the hell he's going to make a play. Minnesota do a really good job staying alive, and it was actually Afro who ends up going big on his hard point. You see Afro, he takes down 1, takes down 2. He goes absolutely rogue, and then they're able to finally win this one. A few trades go back and forth, but they use their tax. They get in there. I think Cammy, he ends up dying, but the nades and tax come flying in and end up getting taken down. So not really too sure what happened here, because it was New York originally who had this side of the map.
Kismet naded himself, by the way.
He naded himself?
That? Yeah, look at if you go back.
Well, let's watch it from here, because I want to see how the heck the flip came in. Because you see Cammy gets pushed out P2, and then he ends up finding 2. Cammy just makes a really good heads-up play, dude. And he gets pushed up P2. He gets a couple kills. Really big wins there. You can see New York, they end up flipping out here. It was Hydra who was the last one up, and he ends up jumping out the window and getting taken down. So really good plays out of Cammy there to get pushed out P2 and just get that 2-piece. Ends up getting that W for them. So Cammy pretty much calling game, him and Afro. Fantastic plays. I know the subs from Minnesota struggled a little bit in this series, but they went big. Cammy went big, Afro went big, and Minnesota was able to close out the map 1. Any final thoughts on the map number 1? It was
a nice mixy Fortress Hardpoint came down to a couple of hills. I mean, this is really a weird series where these teams are just willing to score up on Fortress because they're both decent at it. And I would say from the Rokkr side, Cammy had a really good series and started with this map and the big play he made at the end.
I still will not understand how New York keeps getting. I listen. I get they're a good team. I get it's not gonna live and die by this. But I still don't understand how they keep having this trophy sub, dude. If I'm an AR player,
I like him with it. I kind of like him with it, Chris. Bro, he plays well with it. Like Kismet's really good with it. He's like one of the only guys that makes it work. He's one of the only players that makes it work for sure.
I know, but like, I just I'm not even talking about his side of the spectrum. Like as an AR, when I don't have a trophy, if I'm posted up on a spot, you literally cannot hold it. You just get nades done out of it. It's, I don't know. I guess it works for them.
It works for them. I mean, you see Kismet in the chat. He said, you can see the New York subliner, Skies and Kismet. They're talking amongst themselves right now because Kismet wants that dead silence back. So New York might need to have a little get together, a little meeting on that one. Kismet ends up getting a really big win here to kick things off. First round was a 2v4 for the Minnesota Rokkr. This is actually the only round that they win in this map. Dylan gets some really nice shots onto Skies. Then Paco jumps the corner. He ends up getting taken down. Dylan with another one, but he gets traded out. And then it's Cammy, who's in a 1v2. It's Priesta and Kismet, who try and come around the backside. But Cammy with some really nice shots. But after this round, I'm not really too sure what the hell happened to the Minnesota Rokkr, because this was a clinical search and destroy from the New York subliners. I mean, Ben, they end up running away with this one fast. Also, is that the Boston Breach?
Yeah, I don't know. A weird production issue where they have back-to-back the 8 boxes. Tom, we've talked a lot with New York in Major 2, and Skies is in the chat, and I think he has talked about it in their video pieces, and I think they've talked about it on stream. Like, they were not great at it in Major 2, the Major 2 cycle. They weren't, they said their practice wasn't particularly good on the game mode either. And it seems like they made a concerted effort to work on that. This Mercado was really, really clean. I think you can argue outside that trolley 2v4, they did win every other round, so it should have been a 7-0. And they ended up taking both S&Ds in the series. So tip a lot of them. They're making progress again on this game mode, and that's going to be really important to ensure they make it deep on the tournaments as a lot of other teams have caught up to them and respawn.
I want to give them credit for the S&D, but at the same time, they played 2 maps that are like forced teamwork, if that makes sense. There's 2 maps that they're so small, and like the only play is to stick together on the maps, like for example like a silo or a hotel or even an embassy, where you play a lot more spread. You can't just rely on like just hitting things together and always being around each other. And I feel like that's something that New York struggles with on those like bigger maps, right? They can't find that cohesion where like they're doing something together, and it turns into that whole like clip that Krim made where that Krim called, where one player ends up just running up the map by himself and everyone else is kind of just sitting back. But on a map like Mercado or a map like Fortress, which you'll see them play later, you're always together. Like it's just the nature of the map. So it almost like solves their issues for them just by like the map they're playing. So
A really good round. P-Dog is able to win the 1v1. Skies ends up getting a really big 2-piece there. I don't know how Skies was able to come out with 2 over there, but great plays coming out of Caesar. They end up going up 2-1. You could kind of just fast forward through this one because NYSL just start making the rest of this map look easy. They do an A rush off the rip. Minnesota, they kind of get backed off by those pre-nades. New York, they waste no time getting the bomb down and setting up. And Minnesota, they kind of get put in a blender here. New York, they go up 3-1. And then this was interesting. A little 4-mid retake from the New York subliners. Check out this round. They all hit tunnel here. Every single one of them. Nobody from Minnesota's picking up mid. The trades come back and forth. Afro's trying to pick up some kills. He ends up getting 2, but everybody there from the New York subliners. What do you guys think about that retake? 4 tunnel? I like that. At least they're doing something together.
I like the call. You know, normally you have someone on plat who can watch that tunnel spot up. They're not watching the full pinch, but I think in this case, with Rokkr only having 3 players up and one guy playing the bomb, there's too many lanes for them to watch. And I think this was end up being a good from New York.
And
good read.
Then I love this round. I love how they send Paco over to A, and they kind of let him play on an island, just play a corner, like kind of let him do his thing, and then the rest of them go B. Kind of keeps Minnesota on their toes. They don't know where New York is going. You can see how scattered Minnesota actually is. Afro ends up getting pushed up to A side by himself, so I'm not really too sure why he didn't have any backup there. Afro just kind of hits that A building. He gets taken down. And the New York subliners, they get another kill B side. They call in the streak. They get the information. Bomb goes down. Things got a little weird here because a team nade comes in and then Dylan gets one with a nade, so it was a 1v2. Instantly, I thought Dylan maybe could have been able to clutch the 1v4, but I like the little credit spot from Caesar here. Look, it cracks open a door and maybe a little bit of a cheese spot. Nice little angle from Caesar Skies. Really like that out of him. He played really well in this S&D. Honestly,
you want to know what's
team
interesting about that alley? So that box that Attach was hiding behind, you can see the diamond of the player behind that box from Inten. It's
you can see like through the wall. You're saying, like
you can see if he's there. At least I don't know if it's patched or if it got fixed, but you can see the diamond.
Yeah, you could, bro. You could do that a lot in this game. You see people through walls and shit.
Guys posted in chat. You saw the diamond.
You can see the final scoreboard: 9-2 from Skies, 8-2 from P Dog, 6-4 from Kismet. Only one negative was Paco, but they ran through this search like it was nothing. Great search and destroy from the New York subliners. Any final thoughts on a map number 2, gentlemen?
Good round.
Clinical. Good map. This map 7-0, so.
Yeah, but then again, like I said, man, forced teamwork maps. So if it's gonna work out for them, it's gonna be on those maps at least right now until they can brush up on the other maps.
Yeah, but
the rotation.
They can ensure that like one. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get in a lot of situations. I mean, they're gonna play some good Mercado teams, but they should be able to get at least one of these.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it's not something you can't just rely on it. They gotta get good at least 3 of the maps in search. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to like just continuously make runs in tournaments.
And then we get into the control. New York did a really good job getting onto that 8-point early. They capped it pretty fast. You can see the lives with 40 seconds left. New York did a really good job just stopping clock, getting kills. They do a really good job at this map, like just pushing up and finding gaps and just being annoying. It was actually Hydra who makes the play here. You can see that they're in the spawn trap here. But take a look at that number 8 on the mini map. It's going to be Paco. He ends up finding a gap through top maps. He ends up diving out of here, and they don't see him. He picks up one. He dives out. The Minnesota players don't know that he's under him. And he's just pretty much a nuisance here. He ends up finding a few kills. He gets 1, gets 2. Great plays out of him. And then they end up rotating over towards this B side of the map. Paco just making a good heads-up play. And then he jumps in through top single. Finds another kill. So that's 3 kills from Paco to get out of this trap. And in Minnesota, their lives, they just dwindle. One by one, New York, they just do a good job getting kills. Becomes a 1v2 situation for Dylan Attach, and I like how New York, they wait for each other. They don't chow anything by themselves. P-Dog gave it a second.
Last bullet there. That was crazy.
Yeah, no, Dylan was piecing right here. Dylan actually had like a pretty good series statistically. Like he was doing his thing, but great teamwork coming out of the NYSL. Then we go into the next round. This was just a spawn trap from New York. They keep them blended this whole time. Fortress control things. Not really too much to talk about here. We know how deadly that spawn trap can be. And then we get into the next round. Paco sits on an 8 spree. He ends up turning this into like a 12 or I think like a 14 or like a 15 kill streak. This guy was all over the map. They could not contain him. When he gets pushed up in these positions and gets that dead silence popped, they just cannot keep track of him. He does such a good job switching lanes and changing up his positions. they just have a really hard time killing him. Afro was going through it. He just kept dying over and over again. And Paco, you can see him just finessing how, just able to stay alive. Pat, what were your thoughts on the control and the New York Subliners taking this one? It was pretty comfortable for them. They ended up losing this round, but they ended up closing it out on the defense.
Just that guy on this map.
He's that guy, bro. He's that guy.
It's as simple as that.
I think to his credit, he does a really good job of like. He's like a lot of players do this, and it's a mistake on this map, and it's kind of hard to do successfully all the time. But whenever he gets weak, even if like the trades go in their favor, let's say they're in a 2v2 and they need to get out on their offenses, even if he's weak, he'll just jump out and try to like hope that like he doesn't die and like get pushed up. Because a lot of other players, what they'll do is like, I'm weak, I got to stay down, I'm not gonna like push out. But like, if they're weak and they're staying down, that's time that they could have like used to advance on the map, which is gonna like put them in a better spot in these offenses. And Paco just doesn't care; he just goes.
Yeah.
But who do you compare Hydra to of any COD player in the past? Who would you compare him to the most?
Maybe a little bit like Simp, a little bit.
I don't know, bro. That's a hard question. I can't think of anyone, to be honest.
I don't think he.
You have anyone?
You can't think of anybody?
I feel like Simp is a pretty good shout. Is Simp not a good shout?
Well, Simp's not. Simp's. I wouldn't say Simp is. Simp's like older. Like he's a newer generation. He's more of the new generation. I mean, if anything, like if you were gonna go to like maybe App, if one App was really good.
I could see that.
Apathy used to just be Apathy was literally go donk mode. He would just sprint, literally go everywhere. I don't know.
Apathy's not a bad shout. App's not a bad shout.
How the fuck is this a map?
I don't know. It gets even worse. It gets even worse in the next series. I mean, there's a reason why I'm skimming through it, but Paco is 33 and 18. Make that 34 and 18. The next highest on his team was 21. So take a look at the final scoreboard. This guy had just had a field day. This guy just went absolutely nuts. New York ended up taking the control. Any final thoughts of the control for the New York Subliners?
I'm not playing New York on Fortress though. If that map's a map, I'm just not playing them on that map.
They lost this map to, I think, one of the teams in the last qualifiers.
Think about what we saw.
Was that the major? Like,
think about what we saw in Major 1 though. On like when this team gets going on that map, bro, they're diffy.
Rokkr just don't play Hotel though. That's why they got rid of it, and they were not fine to play either map. When they play a CeeLo, it's pretty much an automatic dub. I mean, they're 8-0 and they should be 7-1 on the map. But like, I mean, that's the calculus here. New York had a choice to play either Fortress or CeeLo, and they picked Fortress. So
I mean, dude, regardless, like, yeah, I think New York is one of the only teams that has like a really good record on that Fortress. Although I still consider it a Mickey map. I mean, dude, it just needs to go, bro. Like, it should not be a map. I mean, I'm still mind blown we haven't play tested any of the other maps.
It really limits the veto selection, because at the end of the day,
it does.
The way most of these vetoes are going, if people are not getting rid of Fortress, they're getting either Hotel or CeeLo. It's down to the other team if they want to play Fortress or they want to play the other map.
Yeah, play the stronger team's map.
It would change the dynamic of this so much more of a positive fashion than what we see right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we hop into the map number 4. Honestly, it was another one of those maps where it was just kind of going back and forth. Teams were trading rotations. I want to go into the listenings because they did back-to-back listenings, and I thought they did it at a good time. The other listenings they did today were at the end of games when teams are getting smoked. So I thought they did good listen. They timed the listenings just right in this one. Pretty much a tie game going into the second rotation. You see Minnesota has a little bit of a lead, but let's see how both teams are sounding. Let's start with the New York Subliners.
Close shot, pushing. Nade across. Super fast. I'll pick up the back. I have a guy here in lobby. I have the whole shot again. Yeah, CBD. Yo, two hole. One shot up mid, Benz. Alright, one shot on the back. They're just playing slow. They're playing slow.
They're going for one's chairs. Chairs dead.
They're gonna be yeah, secret, no one secret. Secret in back stairs. This guy in the back. Backstep is dead. One secret. 100%. He's weak. Secret. He's like fire set. Secret dead. I'm holding. Spawn bed, guys. They're spawning left. Yeah, engine. There be chairs. Lobby. I saw the chairs. Lobby. One shot. Left corner. He's staying here. Nice. Good shot. Lobby. Oh, shot camming. Lobby again. He's going hold to the back. I hear you. Watch your lobby. I spawned dead. Hold lobby. Everyone hold. Lobby dead. I can't do lobby. I'll do lobby. One shot. Lobby. No secret. I'm pushing hole. Secret dead. Nice. Good shot. One steps. Last one. Help him. I spawned chairs, bro. Secret spawn, I think, maybe. Secret. Shot before. Be careful. Secret weak attach. Nice. Watch my lobby. They're gonna be dead spawn. I gotta shoot. Kemi. I saw him old. I'm holding diner. Kemi's. Wait, you have that looking engine sometimes. I'm looking bed spawns. Alright. We're good. Attach. He might be new, guys. He might be new. Look for bands.
I think there's two.
I'm gonna play the back. All right. Yo, bid. I need up. I have your help. On 2 seconds. I'm closing these doors.
Morning rush.
Every bottom bed help. Bottom bed. Bottom bed on you on the van, dead.
Yeah.
It can be mid.
All right, that's going to do it for the listening with the New York subliners. Now, let's tune in and see how the Minnesota Rokkr sound.
Listen, I got straight. Hold tight. I'm going back far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I spawn bed. I spawn bed. Yeah, leave me, do.
Leave me.
I'm holding low bed. I'm going through the front.
One's at the back of me.
I'm holding low bed. Okay.
Go through the bed. Go on.
No, he's coming low bed.
Oh, man.
I can't be the back. He's low bed.
Where is one?
I'm blocking bed.
Shut out on me. Two the back.
Yo, Spar dead.
They spawn again, Cam.
Okay, yeah.
Backstairs.
I'll go back steps.
They spawn front, Cam. Leave.
Okay, yeah. Back steps. Weak kids. I need to. I'm holding spat. No, weak. Yeah, top bed. Nice. Huge kill. I'm spawn mid. I'm good.
Right, nice. Spawn back. Front again. Skies.
I'm gonna go top bed. I'm big.
Skies is front. Can we lock? Can we lock?
And that's going to do it for the listening for Minnesota. What did you guys think about the listenings?
Listenings were fine, but
They were twisted. Both teams were twisted.
The
Yeah,
spawns on that
crazy.
hill are fucking abysmal,
crazy,
bro.
Crazy.
They just spawned every player was just getting a person spawning behind them, and it's just untrackable.
This is where Minnesota were able to get a couple big breaks towards the end of this. Like, see New York subliners with a big hold, but I like the route from Attach. He takes this route off of Old. He takes the super duper long route, goes all the way around the back. Cammy finds one through the front. They're going to flip the spawns on up because Dylan took the route. They end up getting the kills through front. It's a really good break coming out of Minnesota. They really needed this one. Maybe anything you see wrong with the subliners set up here?
New York had 3 before. I mean, kids can only watch. You're going to watch the inside or the outside, and they just picked the wrong option.
Yeah, but they're looking good here. I mean, they got 2 on hill. You can see number 5's trying to look at the back spawn. It was Skies who ends up going down bedroom first. They were kind of staggered here. New York were kind of staggered.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting pinched in those. There's only so much you can do in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they end up going down. Really good break from Minnesota, and then New York. They end up rotating to this next hard point, and Minnesota were able to break this one as well. We could kind of see how they were able to do it. They end up forcing their way through mid. A lot of teams like to break through mid. And I think that's a good play, right, Chris? Like breaking through maybe mid-arch and maybe hitting out a side and working some trades. Because they end up just swarming onto this hill and just working some kills. And they just win the trade battle, to be honest. They just use their numbers. Great plays out of them. A 3-piece from Cammy to open this one up. And that's going to do it for them. So Cammy, not only did he go big in the map 1 to get the dub, but he also goes super big in the map 4 here to send this to a map 5. We can take a look at the final scoreboard. 31-14 from Cammy. We want to see this from Cammy, right? A lot of people, have a lot of choice words to say about Cammy anyway he's been playing, but we know what he's capable of. If he can keep frying like this, I think it'll do this team wonders.
It was big, Tom, because I think New York's was winning a lot of ones in the control and also in the beginning of this map, and it really didn't click for Rokkr until somewhere around like P4. P5-ish on that first rotation. Cammy made a couple of plays, and then Bance and Afro started to wake up. I think they just kind of Cammy's plays kind of helped them get back in the groove because both their sub players are really struggling for about a map and a half.
Are we just not going to talk about how Afro costed them this series?
He had a rough series. Him and Bance, the 2 sub players, both had a rough one.
Hey, what did I say? Sunday night at the flank after the major. What did I say, bro? Afro and Bance are not sustaining that level of play.
Whenever it came down to
just not
this map where they chose to do nothing. So I get your point.
But still, they're losing respawns. Like
Slaying wasn't there.
What?
But
they won both hard points.
They did win both hard points.
That's a respawn, Chris.
Bro,
control stop being. Nah, don't hit me with the Mickey Mouse. Nah. Don't hit me with the Mickey Mouse map. Hydra was in guts.
Yeah,
Hydra was in guts,
bro. This team is like the only exception. Maybe, and even then they lost it to a team that literally played. I can't even remember who the fuck it was, bro. Like I just,
it's a weird series, bro. I don't think anyone would have predicted New York was going to take this series. I mean, you could predict New York would have won, but 2, 3, 5, I don't think anyone had that on the cards.
No, nobody.
I think I predicted they would have won. Yeah,
Not
I did
2, 3,
actually.
5 though.
This is actually a crazy
don't
map.
act like you would have predicted. Come on, bro. Like
I predicted New York to win, and I didn't think they were going to win in that fashion.
Yeah,
Hello,
like, come on, man.
This is a crazy map.
They got the bulldog.
Dylan Attach.
That's so dumb.
Okay, you're making up for not watching this series. It's all good.
Dylan Attach. All right, guys, calm down. Everybody relax, man. Damn. Dylan attached. He ends up going massive on a retake in the first round. He ends up pooping on somebody through the back door. So good plays out of him. And then we get into the second round. This is a 2v4 from the Minnesota Rokkr. They get the bomb down. I feel like once you get the bomb down, anything's possible. P-Dog finds a big two-piece. But I just love the plays from Benjamin Bands. He waits for somebody to jump through the window, finds one. Dylan finds one through the backside. And Bands ends up taking a route through mid-map. I think they knew he was there, but he ends up turning on P-Dog there. Great plays out of Bands. And then Paco's stuck with that pistol in hand. Paco with the snipe out. You don't see that very often. What do you guys think about Hydra using the sniper? You think that's a good play from them? I don't mind him pulling it out every once in a while.
As good as a gadget play, like a one-off play, but I still think he should mostly have a sub on stand or an AR.
He's a lot more impactful when he's running around doing whatever he wants. I mean, which he ends up starting to do as the map progresses. So
I personally hate it. I hate it when players like impactful players like that run the snipe when they can do what they do with an SMG.
Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna
like
do
Shotzi
it,
sniping, like
I don't like him doing it a lot. But if he's gonna do it, like do it for like a round or two, you know, like maybe change it up.
It's a gadget play, yeah.
Then we get into the 2-0 round. This is a rush plant from New York. They just hit that A site and plant it right away. They end up holding the back spawns. I would have liked to see Minnesota hop this year. The doors are closed mid. The bomb is planted for the backside. If somebody just hops and Minnesota just stacks the backside and just watches the back, they might be able to actually win this round. But they end up just kind of hovering around the site. New York doesn't really chow. But probably could have been a round one for Minnesota if they just hopped the bomb. But really good plays from New York. They end up getting some kills.
We call this a do nothing play, Tom. Is what this is.
Yeah, they didn't do much. They just kind of sat around the bomb. I would have liked to see somebody hop, somebody look over them. Like if you see where it's planted for and the doors are closed, it might just be a good play to hop on that defuse and just look over them. But good round for the New York subliners. They try to bring it back, but then it's Benjamin Bance who finds a 3-piece in this round. A 2v3 situation. Bomb's going to go down for Afro, making a good play with that bomb. And let's take a look at Bance, man. Let's see the plays that he was able to make. You know he's bumping the headset here. You know they're all on the site. Ben's going to jump down, find one, finds two. Great shots coming out of Bance. And then he ends up staying alive here somehow. Skies put some shots into Afro. Afro's going to dip. And look how deep that corner is. Bance able to find 3. Great round out of Benjamin. He's been so good for these guys. Something's been clicking with Benjamin Bance lately, man. This guy's been different. But Minnesota Rokkr were not able to hold on to this one, man. New York ended up making a comeback here. They rush A. It was a quick round heading into the 3-2 round. Minnesota, they try and do like an A rush here, but the retake. Actually, no, they actually win this round. They get a little aggressive on the A site. I mean, we see how many times now when teams hit this rush plant and set up through the back here. I mean, it's really hard to retake this bomb. So really good plays from the Minnesota Rokkr. They end up going up 4-2. Cammy snaking those back stairs. Bombs down. New York, not really much they can do here. Skies tries to do a little angle, tries to go through the top here and maybe find a little off angle. I thought this spot got nerfed, by the way. I'm not really.
No, it's the ledge of like to his top left of his screen. Like you can't jump up there. I don't think anymore.
Okay.
But you can get up there easily.
And then this round for Minnesota, they actually try going pretty rogue here. It was Afro initially who gets aggressive through the middle of the map. He tries to push through bottom Art. Maybe a little bit of mishap movement there. Paco though locking down Art. I don't know if I like to play for Minnesota. You're up 4-2. I don't know if hitting bottom Art's the best play there. But New York, they end up getting the kill. 4v3 situation. Bance tries to make a play. 4v2. And New York, they end up pushing through, going over towards the B side. Cammy's kind of left here with his Bance down. So nothing much he could do. New York, they end up taking another round on the board.
Tom, do you mind if I step in for a second?
No, sure, no problem. Go ahead.
I think Rokkr really tried to get a lot of arc control on both sides, and they really struggled with it on this map. I think Afro especially for Snakebin, he lost so many gunfights to Hydra top and middle and bottom Art. And sort of how the rest of this map plays out. Just keep that in mind that they keep trying to get that pressure, and it doesn't really set up, and they're forced to make plays in the outer lanes of the map.
I personally think the play was just dumb in the situation. Yeah. Like what this map usually comes down to, or what like the way people play this map is if a guy's gonna cross A, one's gonna cross A, and then one's gonna watch over him. So that's going to automatically dedicate 2 players to that A site, like actually at the A site. That's when you opt to hit Art or like try to pinch with like multiple players, because you're more likely to isolate someone, because obviously one person's probably going to watch Art and one person's going to watch the P1 street or some variants of that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like doing it off the rip is purely just blind counter, like just pray, because you don't have the info yet. You don't have any information. You're just like running at them. And like on defense on this map, like you're guaranteed to get the initial information when a guy crosses that site if they obviously don't just run at B. So why even take the risk? Just do it later. Like, you're going to accomplish the same thing.
And then in this round, I like that Cammy got the kill, but I don't know why he pushed out a mid here. He just tries to get aggressive. He doesn't even have the dead silence pop, so he just goes super rogue. I mean, at that point, you get the kill. Like, just watch over the bomb planter. Like, maybe drop back and just try and get the bomb down. But he goes rogue. He ends up falling. And in New York now, they have the numbers. They end up taking some routes here because they kill the guy Art.
Wait, hold on. Did he make that play without dead silence?
Yes.
He did, yeah. So. He didn't pop it. He didn't pop his daddy.
He was mega faded, bro. That was, he was fucking
he went
faded.
rogue right there.
He looked like me in rank play this morning. Now, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what his thought process was there. But then the New York subliners end up working a retake here. He's doing attach in the 1v2. He ends up taking down the first one, tries to get away, and Caesar Skies with incredible shots. That headshot multiplier just mows Dylan down. If he doesn't hit the headshot there, that might be a different story. Dylan might be able to clutch that one. And then we go into the 4v4 round. This is where Paco takes over, man. He almost has back-to-back aces here, Ben. Almost back-to-back. Ben, I'll let you take it away. What does Paco do here to get these aces?
What we've seen from him in Respawn, he's just so good at finessing, getting a kill, hitting a shimmy, hitting a snake, and then making that instinctual timing play to stay alive, make another play. This round was a disgusting ace. Yeah, disgusting ace with the bomb down, just roaming and finding all of these players. In a big round for New York, they're able to win the offensive round and force Rokkr to try and do some crazy stuff in round 10 to at least get to the last round.
Yeah, he pops a dead silence and ends up soundwhoring the both guys running in front of him through the wall. So he picks up the 2-piece. Good heads-up play. And then we get into the next round. I'm thinking Paco's going for another ace. He's going to get aggressive here. He's going to try and make a play through bottom art. Dylan finds 2 right off the bat. So New York subliners immediately in a 2v4 situation. Paco finds 1 there in art. And then you can see Cammy. He's going to find Kismet. But check out the plays from Paco. They have no idea he's here. He snuck his way onto the site. Finds 2 in a 1v1 situation. It comes down to him and Dylan attached.
Wait, can we go back and see how he got there? The timing he hit it?
Yeah. So it was right here. Nobody's on the site yet.
Okay, hold on.
Cammy's still kind of playing in the back, and then they have a guy back street and a guy in art. So he just sneaks up on the site. They don't know he's here.
Fuck.
And I think once they kill Kismet, they just don't expect Paco there because he doesn't pop up. He just stays down the whole time. So it was a really good play out of Paco. So he ends up finding 2. Being
they can get aim assist right there.
They probably heard him because did he sneak up? Yeah, he doesn't have Daddy Pop.
He thought Kiz was the guy that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he uses a streak. Paco calls a streak in. He gets the information. He knows where Dylan's at, but Dylan ends up clutching the 1v1, and we end up going to a round 11, which, in my opinion, pissed me off. Minnesota Rokkr, they do nothing.
This is our biggest,
boom, right here, boom. Look. Afro's on the site. There's nobody here. There's nobody here. Why not just get onto that bomb site, get it down, and play a backspawn? We saw how many A rush plants in this map where it worked like a charm. This round, they just wait and wait and wait. You could see 25 seconds left on the clock. They're still not even on that bomb yet. Paco ends up finding 1 on the street on Dylan. New York start making their move now. But the problem is they just don't have any time to work with now. Now they're getting swarmed.
Backwards. Like, it's just, to your point, Tom, yeah, I get it. Like, planning A is not particularly easy on this map. You can get naded, you can get shot through both doors. Like, it's definitely a tricky situation.
It's damn near round 5. It's down near round 11 though, Ben. Yeah, like, somebody has to have a trophy.
Somebody make a play, throw a trophy, get the bomb down.
This is our biggest pet peeve on offense, where on round 11s, where people just like lose their ability to be confident on this side. We've seen it.
I don't think it's people. I think it's certain teams.
But we've seen it throughout the history of COD. This is like the worst. This happens all the time, where people on offense round 11 just get lost in the moment, man. Like,
Slasher, they're coming for you, bro. It's your playing pick strategy.
Bro, I don't mind playing picks, but bro, if you're on offense, you gotta make a play and do something.
Can't wait till 20 seconds.
You can't wait till there's 20 seconds left on the clock, because then New York is just gonna hit the go buttons. They're just gonna swarm.
Get their dead silences up, make plays.
Exactly,
like,
bro.
Just like, you want it in this game, and I assume you agree, Chris and Tom. Like, is a game where on offense you want to get that bomb down and force them to come to you.
Yes,
you can
as
make
fast
plays
as
in
possible.
Space, and if you're letting the defense set up around you because you're just sitting there holding your whatevers and spawn, or on the site not doing anything, it's just detrimental.
But also they're good. Like, they were in like decent like post plant spots. Like, if Dylan literally sat in that corner, right, and then bomb goes down. He sits there for a second more, and he calls out, "Yo, they're hitting like there's no one to P1. They're obviously either hitting bottom art, or they're just gonna hit out the fucking point." He literally can just flank. Like they just sat there and did fucking nothing, dude. Oh my god, that's the worst.
Like my OBS froze.
All good.
And then we hop right into the next one. The Boston Breach going up against Toronto Ultra. This was an interesting map set. Fortress Hardpoint, Hotel S&D, Fortress Control, Hotel Hardpoint, Fortress S&D. Might be one of the world's worst map sets I've ever seen.
It's pretty bad.
What did you guys think about the vetoes in this one as we head into the map number one?
Towards Toronto's map pool right now, and I don't know when this happened. At some point near the middle of the Major 2 cycle, has gotten really teeny, and they've kind of lost this, like, I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem like they have a lot of confidence on Embassy, and that's how we end up with this set, because the only 2 maps left in most of the game modes is like Fortress and Hotel. And yeah, I know for both teams they're pretty good at both maps, but for Ultra, I think right now, as they're sort of slumping through this 3-game L streak, and candidly they've lost what 3, 4 their last like 6 or something like that, and the only 2 wins are against LAG. Just dealing with sort of the narrow win conditions as they sort of try to navigate improvement on their team, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's not a great spot.
We get into the first map. We got a Fortress Hardpoint. I want to go into the listening with the Boston Breach. It was a pretty back and forth game, but we got Beans, who's a new member of the Boston Breach squad. We'll talk about his performance a little bit after the listening, but let's tune in and see how a new look to the Boston Breach sound.
I'm laying out. Close, dead. I'm living. One spot. I'm trying to attack him. They're both sides. He's in there. Give me a horse. Okay.
We're on the box, scrap.
He's still on the box. 2-1, done.
Damn.
I need a horse. Top maps. Set on my horse. Top maps weak. Standy. No, dude. Horse is top map. Standy just one bottom bar, I think. He's already P1. Nice job. I'm pulling up ground. I'll get top. I can call up go maps. I'm blocking. I'm seeing up steps.
They're gonna get all gate, guys. Okay. I'm done. Okay.
I can tell you they jumped up and show benches. Bottom maps, top maps, one probably ambo.
Benches.
They're going closing P2, it look like. Okay, I'm winning it.
One is benches now. Single jump dead. I've
P2. Nothing done. I'm pinching P1. P1 or not. P1.
Wait, what's your order? Grade 1.
There's just a thing.
A1 hurt. Nice.
They have big noise backstairs. Kleenex. Kleenex is behind the.
I mean, rails.
One's rails. Or like trees area.
The back there. I'm weak.
Yeah, I spawned out. Stay open.
Open. Dead. Reach me, Rose.
Last guy.
Rails, probably. I'll see him, Rails.
And that's good to do for the listening. I hear some giggles coming from Chris Parasite. What's going on, Chris?
Joe's turned, bro. He literally turned on his teammate right there. You seen that?
He is twisted, bro.
I think Tom, really the big swing moment I thought in this, and Chris, I want to get your thoughts, is
when
the play that Reese makes it at the end of the P5. You want to go there, Chris, because I don't know if you watched this live or not. I'm curious your thoughts if you thought this was a good player or not, because I felt like they had an opportunity.
I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it back because I was probably mid-rank game while I was watching. What was it?
It's near the end of the P5.
So it's at the end of the P5. Reese, he ends up pushing it out pretty early, actually. Like it wasn't the end of the P5. It was like mid P5, like right here. You can see Reese. He's gonna end up coming off spawn. He ends up spawning. Boom. He actually spawns there, Ben. So he doesn't push it out. He just spawns there.
This is later on this P5. It's like near the end.
Okay. And then Reese on the P5 time. Are you sure, Ben? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's near the end of this. He goes back towards maps. Do not.
No, I don't think so. I think he just spawns P5, and then the flips come in, and then Toronto ended up getting in that one.
Where's he spawn after this?
Well, first he spawns P5, he ends up flooding hill after he dies on P5. You're saying? He ends up spawning out all the way back P2 with his team. So he didn't end up pushing it or making a bad play. He just spawned there.
You and I both recognize the play.
I don't think we realized the flips came in that fast. The flips just came in, and it was Toronto Ultra who made a pretty good play. And then we get it towards the end of this one. It's Toronto who only need 20 points to get this dub. But take a look at Boston. They're storming through P2. They're trying to flip these spawns, and that's exactly what they do. The last one up is going to be Standy. But he ends up falling here. It's Big Wig. I like the heads-up play from Big Wig. Just backing up. They know they're missing one. He did a good job counting players there and making sure nobody gets out of the spawn and tries to flip them. But the Boston Breach. They end up holding Ultra in this spawn trap, but it was Ultra who ended up getting over towards his P2 side of the map. And it was Jamie, man. Listen, Insight, he's negative here, but he had a great series. He was making plays, man. He was being super impactful. He gets pushed up onto that P2. He finds a big 2-piece, throws those snakes down as a cruise missile in hand. I don't think he ends up calling the cruise missile. But he just works those snakes, and somehow Toronto Ultra were able to clutch up. Maybe a little bit of a misplay from Boston, letting Toronto out of the trap.
I mean, I think another misplay that happened this map, and we didn't really watch the P3s, is I thought Boston an opportunity to maximize time on both of them, and just either, you know, they went down too early and it became a mix fest, so they just didn't get set up. And you know, those are the key money hills in this map, and if you're not milking those for the 40-20s, you're rotating earlier, like you're giving away your advantage.
But in my opinion, I think Reese needs to hold this here. I mean, there's only 15 seconds left on old. I think Reese is in a corner P2. He should hold this and just play his life. People might say COD timing, but he gives himself the bad timing. I mean, he should know that pushing this, and I don't know if he heard him, because he ends up turning to the left and trying to flank him right away. So he might have heard him, but he should just stay in a corner there, watch both closed and open, and just wait for his team to rotate back and just lock down this P2. He ends up going rogue. He ends up dying over towards the P2 side of the map. And that's going to let Toronto Ultra get into P2 and work the snakes and work some kills. Just maybe a little bit of a misplay. They get him in a spawn trap, and they end up just going a little bit too rogue there. So Ultra were able to clutch up. Take a look at the final scoreboard here. 30-21 from Big Wake. Good map out of him. 29-26 from Nero. So he popped off. Scrap 34-23, but it wasn't enough. Any final thoughts on the map number 1, gentlemen? Any final thoughts at all?
No, it was
good.
It was
Go ahead.
Mixy Fortress Hardpoint. That both Fortress Hardpoints, they were pretty fun to watch. Came down, some final hills in a close 200 plus. So
it was a good watch, but at the same time, when your rookie debuts his CDL appearance with a team kill, it's shocked. Like, he was getting fried that map. I called it. I was like, yo, he's gonna have a terrible map. It's really the chalk, bro.
Yeah, it's the chalk up for sure. Pat, any final thoughts on the map 1?
I was losing full, man. OBS has been just freezing my shit, but no, yeah, I listen. I was hoping Beans was gonna come out hot. I picked him in fantasy. I thought he was gonna have a good debut. I'm a little disappointed.
fun series.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard
it's his first series.
But yeah, that was tough. This whole series was tough.
And then we get into the Hotel S&D. Love the round here from Boston. They're in a 2v4 situation. It's Beans. It's Big Wake. They're somehow able to clutch up this round. It starts with a big kill from Beans, I believe, onto Insight. Yep, he kills him low alley. So good shots out of him. Hits those laser beams. And then it was Big Wake on the other side who finds a kill onto Scrap. So Toronto Ultra just super staggered here. They go down 1 by 1. 2v2 situation. Ultra end up backing up. They have no idea where Boston's trying to go. Bomb goes down, and they end up closing this one out. It was Toronto Ultra who tried to make a play through mid-arch. But great crossfires from the Boston Breach. Big Wake and Beans really came out hot in this one. So they clutch the 2v4. They go up 2-0. We go into the 2-0 round. I like to play from Ultra. They just get super aggressive towards the B side of the map. They use their numbers. They work the trades. They're going to find Nero onto that, on that heady or on that little off angle. He's going to go down. Then you got Big Wake back here trying to slow down this push. But you see Toronto Ultra. They are not shy to challenge. They go crazy. They challenge. It's a quick round. They end up going up 2-1. Or Boston, excuse me, has a 2-1 lead. They end up getting around on the board. Good job by Ultra. And in here, Ultra, they just give up the B side of the map. What do you guys think about this? I don't know if you should ever just give up B like that. Because if the bomb goes down in B, retaking this site is not easy.
But don't they retake this round? Or is that the next?
No, they end up retaking this round. But I don't know if that's something they should be, like, banking on. I don't know if they should be banking on retakes here. Just letting them... Cause
I don't know if they're doing that against a different team.
It's a 4v3. Like,
they got lucky that they 2v4 won this round.
Yeah, and I don't even know how they were able to do it. You can see the nades come in.
Nades, yeah.
They're able to find one, and Boston's on those head glitches. I like to play from Standy to take the long route mid-map because he's going to pick up Beans watching a pinch. And then they kind of just get swarmed on the point. They're just kind of spinning in circles. Boston's got to look at two things. And Standy and Insight just go absolutely massive. They cut it close. That's got to be around the Boston Breach there, in my opinion. Personally, I think playing retakes on B is just putting yourself in a blender. But they somehow...
Was there no trophies?
We're able to do it. I don't believe so. I don't believe they had any trophies. Nope, no trophy. No trophy there.
I don't know if Beans is still in the chat, but I wonder if in that round he has a sniper and not an AR in his hand, which would have made that kind of a weird situation.
I mean, if they're rushing B, he shouldn't have a sniper, but that's besides the fact.
And
and
he's
then
rotating over from the other points, so they may have had a different strat.
and then I really like the shot from Beans in this round. I mean, this was an incredible shot. Let's take a look and see how Beans was able to hit this one. You can see inside, gonna jump on a heady. Beans with a clean headshot. Really good plays out of Mr. Beans there. I like seeing Beans with that snipe. So he comes in, he gets the good blood.
That a lot this season, Tom. If you've not watched him play in challengers, this guy is unbelievable with the sniper. Probably one of the best snipers in the league right now. So
yeah, no, I agree.
And then I like the
What
play.
was that clip? What was the embassy that he hit that like crazy clip?
Yeah, what the clutch, right? What are you talking about?
And it was in the beginning of the game.
Yeah. He's absolutely filthy with the sniper rifle.
And then I like the play. I like the play from Scrap here. Actually finds a gap to the middle of the map. So he finds one plat area, and then he ends up taking down Nero here. I'm not sure what happened with the comms. I know there's no red dots, but Scrap, if he's ready for this, might have been able to get 2 here. Beans, he ends up throwing that snipe down. If Scrap wins that one, that could have been a big round for Ultra. So Scrap tries to make the play, but with 20 seconds left to go, not really much CleanX can do. He gets swarmed on a bomb site. We go into the 3-2 round, and this was just a Nero show here. Love the play from Nero. He's going to find a gap to the middle of the map. Finds one. He ends up pulling the L trigger here. Predicts Standy on the Chow. Finds another one, and then with 17 bullets left in a clip, takes down 3 players in the span of like 10 seconds.
Chow 1 HP, Tom. He had 1 HP, and he said, "YOLO, I'm Chow."
Really good plays coming out of Nero. Love to see the confidence coming in from him. And then we go into the 4-2 round. This was the 1v1 from Reese Vivid. Always good to see him clutching up. You see the last one, it's him versus CleanX. You can see, I think Vivid hears him. I think he just bumps the headset, hears him through the wall, ends up hits him with a little bit of a snap. So really good plays coming out of Reese Vivid. I think Ultra was able to bounce back with one more round on the board, but it was actually Boston Breeds who closed it out here in the 5-3 round. From a little off angle from Vivid. I like how they doubled this low L wall because Beans has the cross. I don't think Standy expects 2 of them to be there. And Viv was able to find a first blood with an off angle there, and they end up closing this one out. Any final thoughts on the map 2 S&D?
I think Ultra's been really shaky in S&D since that Optic series. I don't know what's happened after. In a lot of the S&Ds, and both S&Ds, I think they played against LAG, if I remember. They're both Mercados, and they basically went down the wire. They got smoked by FaZe, if I remember how that search went down. I don't remember the one against Thieves. I think that was also just an absolute blunder. And then this one again, I don't know. I think Toronto is just sort of slumping in some game modes, and search included, and they need to use the next couple of weeks to try and figure out how to get back to the form they had.
Yeah, Toronto almost looks like they're kind of regressing. But I mean, what I tell you guys, I always said when Beans joins this team, like he's a really good search player, sniper or not. So I expected.
Were any of us doubting this team to be worse? I actually thought they were going to be better.
Oh no,
I
thought they were going to be better too. But I'm saying like S&D wise, this guy's going to be good at search. Like they're going to have another because I feel like Nero is really good at search. And the rest of them are pretty good at search too, but like having Beans on the team as well as like Nero, like they have a really good at least 2 really good search players on their team now.
Beans has the ability to be one of the best sort of like island players in the league right now in search. I don't know if you feel that way, Chris, but he's got that potential. The way they plays with the AR and sniper, the way I've seen him do it in challengers, and he's not afraid to make plays in the island position instead of just kind of holding head glitches. I think he's going to be a massive difference maker for them in search, and they're a team, remember, it hasn't won game 5s. That might be really key for them once they start trying to figure out how to close some of these mixed series.
For sure.
You know what's crazy? Every team that's had somebody retire has gotten better afterward.
Really?
That's only 2 teams though, and Optic hasn't won.
2 out of 2. 2 out of 2.
I need a second. I'm gonna step away from my setup. I'll be back in like.
I mean,
you're not missing much in this map. I'll tell you that.
Of course, that's why.
Defense.
I see what you're saying. And I think the jury's still out about those teams though.
I don't know, but performance.
Neither of them have won an event since the player retired.
Yeah,
yet, so
but they have improved in placing, and we're just waiting on Boston to do so. So.
And then
technically, yeah, sure.
I wanted to ask you guys, and we could kind of wait till Chris gets back to answer the question, but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Mercado Control and how you guys think it'll play out. Because this map, listen, I'm sorry, but this map needs to get removed as fast as possible. It needs to get removed.
Didn't we ask Austin about that?
He said it played well. Didn't he say it played good?
He said it played well, but
I thought they had mixed opinions. Like some said it played well, and some said played bad.
But it can't be worse than
this. There's always
this.
bias on teams.
We're at a point where we either got to find a third control map or have a serious conversation about just going to 3 hard points.
3 hard points. We should just do 3 hard points and 2 searches.
Just where we're at. It's like which is just a better situation. I know it's gonna be tough to see 3 hard points in a series, but right now I'm just the fortress control is the biggest vibe kill. It's horrible for viewership.
Wait, you can't have hard point 3 and 4 though. Like,
well, that was what I was highlighting earlier, but I think that's what you'd have to do, right? If you want to keep
that'd be
game 5.
Horrible, bro. And a good S&D team would be pissed.
Yeah, and
I mean, you're not wrong, Pat. I think that's sort of the issue and why I think that trigger hasn't been pulled yet, because it's just gonna unlock kind of a weird conversation about like how the meta is gonna change a lot with 3 hard points. But listen, I think just if you want to let me finish for a second, like I think with control, the problem is this is a map where we've seen in round 4s. People sit in their spawn because they get enough ticks and they don't want to give kills. It is bad for viewership. It's bad to play. Nobody enjoys this map.
But it's not just this map. Like, this mode sucks. This map obviously makes it worse, but like this mode genuinely sucks.
Yeah, the mode in general is pretty bad. It's hard. It's a hard watch. It's a hard watch for sure. It's not.
This is a mode that's so affected by no. I mean, all the modes are affected by no red dots, but this one in particular too. Like, it's really bad in a silo with no red dots. It's bad at times in a hotel with no red dots. Like I think we're gonna have a real conversation, a real adult conversation about what we want to do about controlling this game.
This map is not only.
I'd rather see CTF. There's so many modes.
Wait, this map is not only affected by the red dots, it's affected by sound the most, because in Search and Destroy you kind of have time to like generate your dead silence, like figure out what you want to do, right? In Control, you don't have that time. You have to go. And in those moments when you have to go, you're fucked if you don't have Deddy. You're just getting heard.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you can hear people from a mile away, especially now. People have these setting cheeses now where they can hear people coming from across the map. But it was all defensive wins in this one, folks. Nothing but spawn traps. If anything, Boston, they were able to get some ticks on the board to get that defense for the last round, which pretty much solidified the W here. But
all right, I just thought about it. Would Control be better without lives? Can't be worse, right?
What do you mean? What, just based on time? No.
Yeah, just strictly time. Yeah. The defense would have to hold them for that amount of time, and the offense would have to get the points in that amount of time.
I think it would still be terrible.
So here's the problem with that, Paz. Then what's your tiebreaker if everybody's tied on ticks?
50, bro. It's better than what we got right now.
No, but what
that's my tiebreaker.
Kills.
50-50.
The amount of kills.
If kills are tied, if ticks are tied, just flip a coin, bro.
No, wait, no, we can't do that.
That's like a 0.1% chance that you're tied on kills, you're tied on assists, you're tied on score, you're tied on, like, there's so many things you could do.
But Jesus, oh my God,
who cares? Like, it's a 50-50. If offense and defense aren't as absurdly unbalanced like they are on some maps, then it's not an issue.
Actually, it's actually not that terrible idea, Pat. I think it would make this game mode probably play a little bit faster.
I think it'd be way more exciting. Yeah. Offense would not be scared of valuing lives. Like, I don't know. The mode sucks, period, but I think that would be better.
It's a pretty bad mode. You can see here another spawn trap. Ultra actually do a really good job getting onto the B point and working some stacks, but they weren't able to get that last sliver, which kind of hurt them. And in Boston, were able to hold on. I like how Scrap was trying to get over to this site, but he ends up falling. If they were able to get that B point, they might have been able to do this one, but they get put right back in a trap. And the Boston Breach were able to close this one out. 5 defense wins in a row.
I feel like this is the only map that would play better with time per tick, like how it was before. And then they changed it to time per like capture.
I don't know why they've changed it. Well, not change it back because it was so much better in the beginning.
Yeah, I always like time per tick.
Time per tick is. I like it, but like I feel like offense on some of these maps is really, really good already.
Which is fine if it ends up being offensive side, so good. But to your point, it makes that map so much better with time.
Wait, hold on. I would rather control maps be offensive favored. Am I crazy? Like,
no, you're not. You're not crazy for that.
I'd way rather be like offense wins 60% of the time.
Well, I mean, the advantage of defending is the fact that you don't actually have to execute anything. So like swaying the way the game mode plays in terms of like the raw, like actual gameplay is definitely better for the offensive end. It should be, because like I said, the advantage of defending is you don't got to do anything. Just sit there. So I don't know.
Let's hop into the hotel hardpoint. This is where Boston was able to close it out. We got to listen in from Toronto Ultra. Game was pretty much tied going into the second set. So let's tune in and see what was going through the minds of Toronto.
Back a little bit. Off of van. Okay, let's rotate. Deep right. Wrap him in here. Deep right and front. Front. One pushed up front, I think. In there. One guy's gonna be D1, D2. Hey, close connector. Connector. D1 on me. He's weak. That's good trade. I'm looking for the guy couches.
Yeah, don't think he's couches.
I'm
I think
getting
he's like towards bed.
Was it the pillar's dead? That's
Nice,
three.
three.
I'm in left side hill.
I'm holding P5, okay?
Yep. I'm just sat connected right
Yo,
now.
lobby?
Lobby?
I'm looking lobby. Nice. Lobbing me hill. I need dodge.
Carry him, dead.
Nice, Jimmy.
I'm
Still square, yeah.
Square.
P5, okay?
He's left side square. Left side square.
What's carry? He's got top cat, top cat.
Gonna jump with me, Jimmy.
Top cat
That's
dead.
fire. That's fire.
Yeah.
We'll look at right side.
Deep mid, deep mid, beans.
Deep mid, dead.
One close right, Eli.
Close right.
That's right.
That's good.
P5
dead.
couch.
One more. Oh, that's fair.
Remember the cross, okay? There could be
I'm going top cat.
Stay alive. He alive. Try and hide.
P2,
I left
absolutely
side
dead.
hill. One guy's couches on me.
Yeah, it could be just couches in here.
Yo, top cat right now. He's going front bed. He's going front bed.
D2, Jimmy. He's going.
Front bed and
D2.
square. He's gonna hit lobby. One's gonna hit lobby.
P2 right now.
We'll play these guys a vault.
Yeah, just take
Okay.
your time.
Where is he on time?
I think he's lamp.
Close square on me.
Dead.
Who's towers me, bro?
Let's go D1, D2.
Yep, go right. Come on.
If it's gonna spawn behind us.
One's gonna be here on us.
That's gonna do it for Toronto Ultra. They had they're going back to their calm listenings. That calm, like having just like a conversation with each other. I feel like Toronto has a good listening. They just seem like very calm and very patient. You know, they just seem like, I feel like the best listenings are the ones where they're just having like a conversation with each other, like just talking to each other instead of just like yapping. You know what I mean?
I feel like Toronto and Thieves also, but like even if they're down, they always sound like they're winning.
Yeah, they have really
You know
good
what I
comms.
mean? Like,
Especially the Thieves. The Thieves comms are insane.
Yeah, but they always sound like they're ahead. Like they got nothing to worry about.
An emergency
small talk over
tornado.
there.
An emergency tornado hit the map.
I don't know what this was, dude.
In the middle of the map, we got a tornado out of nowhere. But this was another map. A lot of the hard points today were so back and forth. Just really, really close games. This one came all the way down to the very end.
To be honest, I think Toronto, the way that Toronto slayed through most of this map, I don't know how they ended up losing this
Chris,
one.
I want to get your thoughts. When you were gone, we were talking about Mercado Control. Have you heard any things about it? Good things, bad things?
I've heard it wasn't like we used to play it. It was like one of the maps before the official map set got released, and I don't think it's worse than Fortress. I don't really. You know what's weird, dude? I know people are saying like, "Yo, swap the map, hate the map," but are pros like advocating for any sort of map change? Are they advocating for any sort of testing? Because I feel like
I imagine they're advocating. I imagine they ain't going nowhere.
No, I think a map set is one of those issues that I feel like is relatively easy to bring up a conversation and actually spark a change. I don't.
Oh, you're saying change within the game like that we already have?
Yeah, like
okay,
I'm not saying like,
but
we don't have a map. I'm
I
saying
thought you
like
meant like getting more stuff from IW.
This is where we get into a sticky wicky here, which is because
I like that,
if
Ben.
it goes to a vote, teams that are good at Fortress Control are not going to want to get the map out of the pool. We run into the essential problem. This when we make this change this late in the game.
And I see
It's a lot about
people.
politics.
I see people in the chat talking about museum control, bro. Listen, let's not even start
Good
talking about that.
Lord.
Don't even
Bro,
start talking about that, bro.
I haven't even spawned
That's
into the
horrible.
new maps. All I've been playing is ranked, so I haven't even got to see what they look like. I might now. You guys have sparked my curiosity, so I might actually go
From the
into like
pics,
private
they look
match
big.
and look
Nah,
at like
it's too
Dome
big.
and the other map control. But like, if I'm thinking Dome, but Pat, you didn't play fucking MW3, but like
Bro, I played the game.
You got mega
I know what
spawn
Dome is
trapped.
like.
You got mega spawn trapped in CTF, bro. So like, I can imagine control.
Yeah, but that was different. That was different though. Back then, the spawn rules were completely different. Like you could have line of sight and people would still
Yeah, but
spawn
I'm
in front of
saying-
you. They're
I'm saying
way more like.
Yeah,
less
that's what I'm saying.
punishing than
Control
they used to
control
be.
might be really weird on that map, but like, bro, I just know how the pro players are, and a lot of these people will just be like, "Yo, man, snaking sucks," or "This sucks," but like, no one like actively is trying to do anything about it, bro. Pros are fucking lazy, and you guys definitely know this. Pros are lazy.
Chris, it's because at the end of the day, the way these a lot of issues are done is in a DM group with player reps, and it just is not a formalized process for there to actually get any momentum on this. It comes down to a player just losing full, putting something in that group chat, and it goes up to a vote. It's just
But
like
my problem with that thought process, Ben, is it never was. It never was a formalized process, and it never needed to be. Like it didn't. Like Chris, Tom, you were in. We got shit done
different.
back in the
It's
past.
just different times now, though.
Yeah, no,
it's like
that's
different
what I'm
people, new
saying.
era, like you
It's-
said. It's
yeah.
just different now. It's
I
just
think it
different.
also matters who the best players are. I like, and this isn't like a dagger at anyone, but like when the best players are like the younger kids who just have a different mentality toward things, I feel like it's not going to happen. Like.
I think
how
we
it
need to get
is.
players on and speak to this because we're making a lot of assumptions.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was actually
build
gonna
a template.
I was gonna reach out to chat. I was like, if any pros are in here and they're watching, there's no way that the majority of you guys are happy with like the current map pool. at the very least, has there been any talk of change, or are you guys just waiting for a playable map to come in?
I mean, Austin's hella happy with the current map pool. I would be too.
Because personally, even if like let's say Mercado wasn't like the best idea, like wasn't the best, it's if there's something even slightly better than Fortress Control, what is the reason for us not like either trying it or playing in it? Is there like there's got to be someone in here watching?
I think some of it may come down to practice time. There's just now with this somewhat compressed schedule. Like if the testing need to happen, it would have to have happened.
Listen,
when? Because this patch came out.
Bro, fuck a schedule, man. If people care about the game they play and they don't want to get on miserable, or some of these teams that maybe obviously are being hindered by the map pool, because I mean, like, let's be real here. There's like not that many teams that are actually good at Fortress Control. Most teams, they probably go into that map and think it's fucking gambling. There's no way that like Chris, somebody do something.
What I'm saying is that the players, what is being missed here is the players are a helpful tool to get it done. But they should not be the ones that have to drive the bus on moving this forward.
I agree with you, but hey, somebody's got to do it. Like the fact that like, oh, I shouldn't be responsible is a cop out. Like if you shouldn't be responsible, if you feel like something needs to get done, fucking do it. I didn't feel like it was my responsibility to get the foul GA'd, but I sat there and I wrote an essay to fucking MLG to try to get it banned, even though it was my best gun.
They just don't care like you care, Chris. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
do people not give a fuck?
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
I think the money too is a big factor. Like people are getting paid now. Like that wasn't the case back then. Like there was, in my opinion, and the game obviously is not what it is, but like back then, like there was like a real passion to be good at the game. Like you cared about playing the game competitively. Now you're like, well, everyone knows the game sucks. Everyone's getting paid a lot of money. Like people who are protected, like they're just competing.
When you want to make the best game, because they have to sit here and scrim for 3 or 4 hours a day, like to that argument, I get what you're saying, Pat, that people are more comfortable. I think that's a fair consideration, but like, you know, they still have to get on and play the game every day.
But I also think people got to the point where they're just like, you know, you kind of have seen the support you've gotten from the developers. You kind of know that you're not going to get like the change that you really need. And so when you like compare, like, okay, I can sit here and complain in a DM chat about like, blah blah blah, that sucks, but the game is always going to be bad because we're never going to get the support. It kind of just like kills motivation for that to happen, and while you're comfortable with you getting money.
The central point, Pat, which is right now, and I know the league is in a tough spot because they're positioned between the players and developers, and they need to make everybody happy in the middle, but someone has got to get in front of the wheel of this bus and take care of a couple of key issues here and long term. And you guys know my position on this. Like need to do a better job of controlling this entire competitive process, because it just kind of moves with the wind.
But some of these things, Ben, are like are different. Like there's obvious changes, like for example, game mechanic changing that needs to be like addressed, and they need the developers to do that. But like, bro, there's no game dev that works for fucking Infinity Ward that is like, oh, Fortress Control, you're trying to get rid of it? What? No. Like, bro, if the pros literally were like, this map is garbage, can we try this map? They scrimmed it for a day. They tried it for a couple days. How does it feel? Do you feel like it's better than Fortress Control even minimally? Yeah. All right. It's in. It's not that it's different when it comes to fucking game mechanics,
but I think,
or
Chris,
nerfing things or changing things that are already like
that's irrelevant, Chris. That's irrelevant. You're missing the convo of, well, team A, B, C, and D don't think that Fortress Control is better because there's so much bias nowadays, especially when you have a locked 12-team league where like it's a clear, like, I mean, we've talked about this before, like the teams are kind of split. We kind of know who's better than who just automatically. There's just too much bias. I mean bias has always been biased, but like
I want to know if, like, let's say for example, like if there's a vote of the pros of like, do you want to get rid of Fortress Control for something else? I want to know if there's actually like people, like I want to know how many people are voting in favor. Do we not
remember the like M4 GA stuff, bro? Like everyone in the world knew the M4 was OP and it shouldn't be in the game.
Are like holding it hostage.
But yeah, people were literally like, no,
wait, but
we're
it's
not
different.
Getting rid of it.
It's different with the map pool because like a GA
is so, but it's not.
No, like, a GA is different, bro, because like a GA is basically unspoken. It's not an actual like ban. It's not something that's you're like, for example, like you guys are thinking of like you're thinking of things that are already baked into the game. You're not thinking about the icing on top. The icing on top you can change. It's easily fucking applied. It's not hard. The things that are already baked in there, you can't. It's already there.
I'm not arguing against your point. I'm saying is you're expecting the pros to be like you, and they're just not.
They're not gonna. It's just not gonna happen.
Bro, maybe I care too much. I don't know. I like
the problem is other people just care too little. But let's move on. We're going in circles. I want to look at this play from Toronto Ultra. I don't like the setup here. There is no way in hell Vivid should just be waltzing through bottom plat and finding 2. There's nobody looking at it. You got 2 players, number 7 and number 6, like trying to watch like mid around the back. Number 5's in hill, pretty much looking at nothing. And then it looks like number 8 is just sitting top bed.
Back, Tom? Could you back up?
Yeah, they were all here. They were all here for a minute. I mean, they were the ones who won they got a clean wipe. They got a clean wipe here. And then they just let, they're spawning front. It's Eli who's top cat that's roaming top bedroom. Nobody has low. Nobody. And I don't know if they just don't call it out or if they just blacked out. But Vivid just waltzed right through bottom plat, finds 1, finds 2, and then this whole setup is just completely chalked.
Hold on. So Jamie was watching middle and then readdressed to backstairs. There's a big... Someone needs to pick it up. There's a big miscommunication.
It's literally number 6 and 7. They literally Nero ran at them. Nero ran at them, made Jamie shit his pants and run to the spawn and look at nothing, which allowed Reese to hit this route. If Nero dies or they hunt him down quicker and they obviously can start allocating people to the proper areas, that does not happen. Credit to Nero for staying alive, but like, bro, look at what Jamie did. He literally shit himself when Nero jumped off the catwalk, and then he just ran and did nothing. Good route by Reese, but like, come on,
bro. Beans is comedy. Yeah, at the end of this one,
that's a great reaction.
That's the face you make when you just got carried.
I mean, he literally said you could read his lips. He said, "Bro, I just got world starred. Like, holy fuck." But yeah, Beans, they get the dub in this one, but definitely a rough first series for him. We'll take a look at the final stats. It was 20 and 21 from Big Wake. He had a hell of a map to close it out. 29 and 25 from Nero. He's been really good for Boston. And then on the other side, the Ultra, they were slaying out, man. I'm pretty sure they definitely got Boston Breach got outslayed in this one and still won the map. So a few mistakes there from Toronto.
You guys think Boston wins that if that's Methodz going 12 and 28?
Well, they did win it.
No, I'm saying, but if it was Methodz.
I mean, does that matter though? Like, what does that matter?
Yeah. I think
like a playstyle thing.
Yeah, I just think Beans brings more pace to this team that I think is going to help them.
I agree. I think if your point is that Beans is more active AR than Zinni, I think they have different play styles. I think though the other side of this conversation is we need to talk about.
Well, they get better. What do you mean? Who cares? They get better.
Of course, they're going to get better.
Yeah. What do you mean? Who cares? They get better. That is a reason to care. The guys literally are a better team.
We need to talk about. Sorry, I just want to get my last word in here. Yeah. We need to talk about Toronto's form because they played bad in this. They played bad at Saturday at the major. I think they've really been not playing particularly good since they got smoked by Optic. I know they beat LAG twice, but I think we're going to have a conversation with LAG after this week of are they good or not? Are they back in the bottom 4 again? For Toronto, they got to play Vegas on Sunday, who just came off a W. They've got a new player. There's a real chance here that Toronto goes 0-2 this week. I think they're definitely under a little bit of pressure now to get it going.
Yeah, they're regressing, it feels like, for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely slowing down. I just noticed it in their gameplay. That's why I ended up going with Boston this series too, because I just feel like Ultra hasn't looked like themselves. And it's just like a lot of little mistakes. Like their talent is still there. That's no question. It's just like they're not clicking right now. And they're making too many little mistakes, and one of them being Vivid, just waltzing through bottom plat. It's not a mistake that you usually see Toronto Ultra make. But let's hop into tomorrow's matches. We got 4 matches tomorrow: Boston, London, Atlanta FaZe, Florida, Optic Texas, LAG, and Seattle Surge versus Minnesota. So we got a lot of great matches tomorrow. Let's kick things off with Boston versus London. Boston came off a W today. I expect Beans to probably kick it up a little bit more tomorrow. I'm going to go with Boston. I think they're going to carry that momentum off the W today. London's been struggling. They haven't made any changes. It just feels like...
Oh, that's crazy.
I am mind blown that they didn't make any changes. I've said that multiple times. I'm not really too sure what's going on in that camp.
Do we know if they tried? Like, did they try? Do we know if they even attempted to?
I have no idea.
I don't think it's a player thing. I feel like they all kind of realize it's got to be the organization. Like, they did that whole scrap swap, and then They brought him back into Paul. Like they've just been swapping around too much to probably just like give it time. But yeah, I think these guys definitely still need a change.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Boston 3-1. Who do you guys got? We'll start with you, Pat. We'll go down.
Boston. I don't know how they'll win, but I have zero faith in the Ravens.
All right, Chris, who do you got?
Boston, not even close.
Ben.
I mean, it's the first series. Anything can happen, but Boston, I think, is gonna get more comfortable with this new squad. And unfortunately for London, they're a bottom team, so yeah, I think Boston's got it.
We got Atlanta FaZe going up against the Florida Mutineers. We got a new look to Florida. We got Fellow, Capsule, Brack, and Havoc. So I'm really excited to see how they come out. What sucks for them is they got a really tough matchup for their first series. They could play in Atlanta FaZe. Those are the champions. I'm gonna go with FaZe. I'm gonna go 3-1 again. I'm gonna go 3-1 again. Pat, what do you got?
I'm actually gonna surprise you here, Tom. I'm gonna surprise you.
Okay.
I got the Florida Mutineers in this one, getting absolutely world starred 3-0.
You're an idiot. And then Chris, who do you got?
I got FaZe, but I mean, if Florida continues being a good S&D team, even though they're playing probably against the best team in the game in S&D, I guess this could kind of get dicey. But I don't see a world where Florida beats FaZe here.
All right, Ben, who do you got?
This one could get kind of weird with the vetoes because I don't really know what maps Florida is good at. I don't think FaZe knows either. So this one could maybe be one of those weird game fivers because it's the first series of the major for both teams. I think though, even in the game 5, FaZe probably have the ability to close out. But I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if Florida does upset in this series.
Have we heard about Florida, like trim wise?
Nope.
No,
Haven't heard much.
But I mean, this is like one of those weird major cycles where FaZe, where I think there were a couple of maps they did expand the pool on, especially in Hardpoint, and you know they're going to make some of these series a little bit closer than they need to, just because I think they're going to work on their map pool a bit.
And then wait, who went? Pat, you went, right? Chris, you went. Ben, who do you got?
All good.
Did you ever say who you got?
I got FaZe game 5.
Okay, you think it's gonna go all the way down to a 3-2? Interesting.
Yeah.
And then we got Optic Texas going up against LAG. Obviously, Optic have a new member to the squad. Illy got removed from the team. Dan Ghosty comes in. Heard a lot of great things about Ghosty. He was just playing ranked with the guy. We'll see how he comes out to play. I'm actually going to go with Optic here. I think we're going to have a little bit of a honeymoon stage here. I heard they've been playing really, really well in scrims. Heard they've been doing their thing. So I'm going to go with Optic here. I'll go 3-2. I can see LAG making this one a series for sure. I can see this one going all the way down to the wire. Pat, who do you got?
I got Optic 3-1. I actually got Dan Ghosty on my fantasy, so he better show out.
I like that. Chris, who do you got?
I got Optic. I think Dan's going to play really well this series simply because he's still playing against people that were in challengers like right before he got picked up. Like obviously this LAG was mostly LAG Academy players. So this is a very comfortable series where he's playing against players that he kind of is familiar with. So I think this is a good first series for him to start off in the CDL. So I got Optic.
Cool. Ben, who you got, buddy?
I think the LAG is probably going to end up being a bottom 2 or bottom 3 team in this major cycle. I'm not convinced that I think they've regressed a little bit from their honeymoon period. I think they're going to get slammed in this series by Optic 3-0. And I think we're talking a lot about LAG being a chalk team, I think, after the next week and a half.
All right, and we'll get to that last series, Seattle Surge versus the Minnesota Rokkr. This one's tough for me because I feel like Surge has potential, but their search and destroy is so bad that I don't know if they fixed it. I don't know if I don't know what's going on in that camp with that game mode. I'm hoping that they elevated their search a little bit, but because of how bad their search has been, I'm going to go with Minnesota Rokkr in this one 3-2. I can see Seattle stealing some respawns, but I can see Rokkr closing this one out in the end. Pat, who do you got?
Oh, man, this is tough. This is a tough one. So I actually have Mac and Pred rounding out my fantasy team. Not because I have faith in the Surge as a squad, just because they were so damn cheap after how bad they were in Major 2. So I did pick them up, but I don't know. I like time tells us the roller coaster is going to go back up this major most likely, but I still have them losing to the Rokkr here.
All right, Chris, who do you got?
Until Seattle can win a search and destroy, I think they're like 12-0, like 0-12 rather, like recently. I'm just not going to pick them to win any series until, unless it's like a bottom tier team. I got Rokkr.
All righty, and then Ben, who do you got?
I mean, I would love to pick Seattle in the series, but it's just so hard when I Just think about the search on their team. I think about how this will play out with vetoes. You know, maybe Seattle's made a lot of improvements over the next week or so, but until we see those in play and they get better at the game mode, I'm going to go with Rokkr 3-1 in the series.
Alrighty, that's gonna do it for predictions. We got some great matches tomorrow. Excited to get into the watch party and tune into those. But Ben, why don't you sync us out with a little bit of a putt? But can you angle your head? Can you angle your camera down a little bit so we can see the whole map?
Yeah.
It's very difficult to
it's just hard. Give me 1 second. Let me see what it looks like.
Yeah, no problem, Ben. You take your time, do what you gotta do. You know, there we go. Boom. Perfect. Okay. That's a good view right there. Ben did a scene.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
There you go, Ben. Sync this. Sync this right now, Ben.
Light too, because you can see a little better.
It's actually pretty good, but you're okay. Okay. There he goes, Ben. Ben's off. He's speeding off. He's going to turn the lights on. He's going to get that putt in hand. But the most important part is that he's got those slippers on. Yes, he does. The slippers are on. Pat, where's he going? Chris, where's he going?
Right left.
He's sinking it.
He's sinking it today. He's got some anger.
He's got anger.
He's pissed.
He's pissed. It's clinical out of Benjay Nassim. Everybody make some noise. Get away to the chat. He's not missing this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Easy, Ben. Easy. I knew you were sinking that, Ben. I had full faith in you, Ben.
That gas. That's good gas.
Yes, sir. Come on, Benjay. I love that. Everybody give it up for the one and only Benjay Nassim. But listen, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Anchor.fm/theflank to check out all the audio sites that we're on. And go follow @theflank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials, so make sure to go check it out. Take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode of The Flank, man. Good night.
Peace.